I don't know why. I always forget to fucking turn this thing on with this damn StreamYard shit. Don't mind me. I appreciate that. All right, so what's up, everybody? This is Ed. We're back with another video, and today what we're about to talk about is some double standards when it comes to black men wanting to be free agents, um, versus when black women want to be free agents, and how the community at large generally generally approaches that based on what they're taught to do. The standard programming of the fuckery versus how it's treated when black men do it. When SYSBM people are trying to respond to it, kind of like white blood cells. They see it as an infection, they see it as a disease, something that has to be counteracted that they haven't found a cure to. I mean, I'll tell you right now, the cure is very easy. Just fix the bullshit. You fix the it's just like fire. Without oxygen, it can't, well, not oxygen, because oxygen is a fundamental good thing. But without the what do they call it? The I don't know, the thing that burns, there's nothing to burn. So fix it. But because people can't fix it, like the reality is they don't know how to fix it and they don't think it needs to be fixed. That's really the two issues we're having. People that don't know how to fix it and people that don't think something needs to be fixed. And this feeds into my other commentary about how we are having two different, I'm letting people on. We're having two different conversations. We really are. We're not having the same conversation, and this is a part of the time wasting tactics that people use in order to deflect from the actual thing, because the truth is they don't have answers. They don't have answers about the thing that is being talked about. I was saying before while I was on mute, I was like, shout out to, on the Brother Pill. They got the Brother Pill on there, and I was listening to what they were saying. And, they're talking to give a point. I was listening to some of O'Shea's point about having respect. And these are some things I've stated, some keep in minds. And LAR was saying what LAR was saying. And, they had some good points. Shout out to Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero was talking about Ari Lennox earlier today. Talk about her crying because somebody said she looked like a fucking Rockwaller. And she's mad. She wants to play colorism. This is the same chick that likes to be very, very pro-LGBT. So remember who we cape for, and pay attention to who we're caping for. Even if I agree with somebody's point, if fundamentally I disagree with them, I make it very clear that overall, their clock is right twice a day person, if that. So we're gonna break some stuff down. And I was saying, shout out to Super Triz in here. And yeah. Another thing we're gonna talk about is kind of the degrees of SYSBM. I see Ty City in here. And one of the things is, although a lot of dudes are very firm in their positions, they're very unapologetic about their positions because they know why they're on their positions. One of the things you got to remember, black people learn from white supremacists best, and you see it in how they address things that they don't understand and don't want to understand. A lot of the same tactics that people, aka say white supremacy, applies to us, the community is really trying to apply to groups that they want to see as quote unquote dissidents. At the end of the day, I'm going to say this like this: unless you're doing something that is, well, let me go back before I say that. But I'm going to rephrase it. This is how I'm going to frame it. Another thing we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about other things or groups that black people have kind of abandoned. We're going to look a little bit at history. For the most part, black men are not in the church like they used to be. Black people have so kind of abandoned. You still see black people in the church, obviously, but black men are not in the church like they used to be. The church is seen as this kind of, reservoir for women now. It's funded by women. It's supported by women. It's for the most part catered to women. So the church has slightly changed. Now you still see mega churches. You still see all sorts of churches. The church has not disappeared at all, but people have abandoned it for the most part. Same thing with black business. Black business used to be a lot stronger than what it is now, obviously. For example, this is a perfect example of a right twice a day moment. You know, everybody knows how what I don't like Tone. I don't like what Tone represents. But there's an art, at least a video that I saw that Tone tried to put up. Somebody shared it on my Facebook. Um, in one of the groups that I'm in. By the way, they got cussed out for sharing it. But just the title of the group is something that black people often don't talk about, which is I guess the title was referring to the collapse of black wealth in the 2010s. If we're going to do really a course analysis on the decade, black people lost a lot of wealth. Black people lost a huge amount of wealth between 2006 and 2010, and black people never truly recovered it as a group. And nobody really talks about that. Like, and we're talking about black people that have money. We're not talking about like motherfuckers in the hood. Which, by the way, I don't consider the hood, quote unquote, the black community. Too many people talk about the hood as like the center of gravity for the black community. I've never considered the hood as the center of gravity of the black community. This is part of what it means to get on the same fucking page. This is why we got certain people. It's always a certain type of people that's trying to represent. You know, they're representing the hood. They're pro-hood. They're not really pro. They talk about they're pro-black. Really, they're pro-hood. That's really what they're pro. And people have brought that up when they've talked about every time, you know, we talking about something, we're talking about motherfuckers that have already, not only are they not trying to build the community or build the black collective, they're really trying to be detrimental to it. I'm about to put the stream in here. So we're going to talk about it. I mean, these things still exist. That's why when people make these extinction arguments, and shout out, and I'm going to be clear here. Sub-Zero is one of the few that will talk about abortion, but from a Christian perspective, but for the most part, motherfuckers are not talking about abortion. Motherfuckers are not talking about the fact that 14.5 million black kids have been aborted since 1973. 1973 was 47 years ago, 46 years ago. 46 years ago. So you have people that would have, in that time, you know, you don't look at the people that were born, you look at the kids that they would have had. Nobody talks about that. That's like 20, that's almost like 18, 19% of the entire black population. And you're not gonna tell me ADOS blacks are really and when I use ADOS from now on, I'm using it from the perspective of you know, lineage. You don't see ADOS blacks ain't having abortions like that. That's something the ADOS blacks are doing. So real talk, that's almost 20% of our, that's like 19% of our population. And we're not even looking at potential population. But these Negroes are never really talk about abortion. You know, these folks are not talking about like the pro-family thing, because at the end of the day, they don't want to piss off that woman. See, the truth is, and I was gonna have some clips ready. Hold on, let me put my thing, so y'all can hear me. I was gonna have some clips ready of like, what up, Super Triz?
What's going on, Edward?
All right. Yeah, what's up, Pharaoh? Yeah, I was gonna have some clips ready of basically, you know, some, you know, I forget what they call it, say like web show that they have on, kind of, it's not on, but it's kind of web show, in which they talk, you know, it's like black women own the conversation, and how, and I might still play it. In fact, I'm probably gonna still find it and see if I can find it. It was talking about black women own the conversation, which they asked black women how many black women are thinking about dating out. Or want to date out, and how many black women would date out their opportunity. And everybody in that room, that was only black women, raised their hand. But that's always seen and phrased as, well, black women are just tired of it. When it comes to black women, they're always just tired of shit, and it's okay for them to leave because they've done their job. That a boy, they've done everything they could do. It's just, this black men is irredeemable. But when it's flipped, it's always seen as, well, black men just want white women. Black men, you know, like it's funny how it's the double standard, even how it's approached by people that want to claim to be, quote unquote, you know, pro the community. So we're gonna break this down. So anyway, you know, Super Trey, starting with you, what do you think about some of the stuff that I've said.
Well, I mean, the double standard extends far beyond the dynamic between just black men and black women. It actually extends to the dynamic between everyone in America, because the argument in America for most people of color is that the actual framework of this country is designed so that individuals of the greater populace actually benefit more. In other words, those people who have a certain phenotypical appearance don't necessarily have to compete. And so, what the complaint is that you want to even the playing field and allow everybody to have equal opportunity to start from the same point on the actual starting line, which is the whole argument for reparations, to kind of even the odds, so that way everybody has the same exact potential. What you do with that opportunity is on you. Now, the argument is that SYSBM is centered around black men seeking to date out, but that's not necessarily the case. SYSBM
Exactly.
is exercising of the option. So, with that being said, that doesn't necessarily mean that as an SYSBM man that you're going to be with somebody from a different ethnicity than yourself. As a matter of fact, I believe there's a lot of SYSBM men who are with women of Negroid descent, whether they're ADOS or just diaspora women. So from that perspective, all SYSBM is saying that we're going to actually employ a fair trade market.
Exactly.
We're going to actually invoke a sense of equality as far as individuals who want to vie for my attention as a man. That's it.
And by the way, all these folks that always we're gonna play some of this Oprah on the conversation, these clips, because these are short. I got them in like minute and a half bites, so these are good clips. I'm gonna do the thing everybody else is doing, because a lot of people like to play this game like they don't know what we're talking about. They don't hear this shit in real life, and to a certain extent that may be true. But you see, here's the thing. My thing is, if motherfuckers would not be as triggered by people talking about choosing the best choice for them if they didn't feel threatened by it. We need to stop. We need to start being honest about that. So when people try to play this game like they don't know what's going on, and they play this, it's all about trying to marginalize something and minimalize something. It's the same thing that you see a lot of black bourgeoisies try to do to like the black media and shit like that. They try to yeah.
Do you realize you just stumbled upon the do you realize what you just stumbled upon? What you just said? You just cracked the damn Da Vinci Code.
How did I crack the Da Vinci Code?
No. Check this out, right? So essentially, what you said was that, okay, let's just use an analogy, right? Now, not too long ago, within the black manosphere, right, the big argument was with select versus non-select, right?
Yep, that was the 2018 argument. Lord knows it was. Go ahead.
So the assertion from detractors was that men who are non-select are upset that they have to compete with men who are select. And why we're putting such a fuss was that we couldn't rise to the occasion and be the men that women wanted us to be. So how is that any different from a man saying,
yeah, watch out, man, because you got a lot of air.
Excuse me? How is that any different from a man saying that as a SYSBM man, that I'm looking at my best option available to you and I just don't choose you?
Well, you notice how it's always a different group of black men that got some shit to say about what black men are fucking doing. Because the dating, the life coach, what I call the life coach dudes, or the wannabe life coach dudes, because there's dudes that I respect and there's dudes that they just trying to hustle. You see the people I mention a lot as far as who I respect in that endeavor. But you always have folks that they want to play the select non-select game. Uh, and then you got that's a group of dudes. Then you got the quote unquote pro community or pro. And when we say pro community, we assuming we talk about all black people. You really got a lot of folks that they not pro black, they pro hood. You know, these are the I want the hood to improve, but I don't want it to change Negroes. You know, this is why they always got something to say about black men that they find are lame, or black men that will really create the industries and go into the industry that will put money back into quote unquote the hood, as well as all the other black communities. But they have this kind of ongoing internal battle or civil war with that, because a lot of these dudes come from, and even the older dudes, but they come from a remnant of the 90s where like shit was flipped, and then it's like they trying to protect what they perceive as the pussy. So it's always a different group. But anyway, go ahead.
Can you still hear noise in my background?
No, it's fine. I just wanted Super Triz to say what he had to say, and then that way when you are ready to talk, you be ready to talk.
Okay, got you. What's good, Super Triz? What's good? My thing is, I sent a little voice clip on your messenger today, and we kind of had this little bit of conversation with Power Strategy Tony Maceo earlier, because I joined this panel. And I should have sent you the link, because I really wanted to get your take, because his whole thing is, I told those guys, I was like, you can't sit over here and women can have all the children who they want by the guys who they want to fuck, then want to choose a guy as a cleanup man, the financial provider. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Well, I mean, a lot of them got the problem with the problem with folks is they know it's like selling snake oil. They know there's an issue. They know ain't nobody buying what the fuck is being sold. And it's just like I told Gab. I said, rather than going back to the side you're trying to represent and say, hey, this is what the fuck is gonna be. This is the standard. And when I say standard, I'm talking about the bottom level that's gonna have to be raised to. The standard is pretty much what you can expect, the predictability. This is the standard that it's going to have to be raised to in order to affect a certain outcome. But these dudes have never asked that, because when they ask you, they don't know. So what they do, they come on this bullshit about, black women just going to be black women. And you just need to accept that. And part of the price of dealing with the community, they want to make it like the price of survival is to accept the bullshit and the gynocracy, whatever you want to call it. And there's a lot of black men that's saying, no, it's like being on a team. If you know you can get paid, think about it like this. Take Draymond Green, for example. I got opinions about Draymond Green as a basketball player. You know, I think he gives more value to the team he's with than where another team he could go to, even though he's showing he shouldn't be getting that money. But most players, this is what most players would do. Most players would say, hey, I'm going on the free market. I'm probably not going to lead the team, but I'm going to show what my value is and then force you to be in a position to have to match it. You know, they really call it franchising a player in the NFL, right? But I'm talking NBA. My point is, what the black community essentially does, I'm gonna come back to Draymond. What the black community essentially does, they try to stop you from going to the free the trade market in order to establish your value. What Super Triz was mentioning as far as free trade, as far as products and good. And by the way, Obsidian talks a lot about the free market and all that, so we're gonna talk in those terms, right? You know, they try to do tariffs and do everything they can because in their opinion they want to protect jobs. Now I understand the aspect of protecting jobs, but at the same time, when it comes to like the free flow of access to women and shit like that, well, at the end of the day, you're gonna have to compete. And they want to be like, oh, well, we need to protect our women's ability to have access to men. But the problem is they never look at saying, okay, what do you need to do in order to be able to compete? It's kind of like Americans with like, they're not on a board when it comes to reading and writing and like, you know, math. They say, no, we're not going to increase our ability to do math or increase our ability to comprehend for these new industries or talk about coding. What we're going to do is try to manipulate the situation as long as we can. Kind of like what the oil companies do, where they try to manipulate other, you know, they don't want people to have the ability to do other renewable energies. What they want to do is try to keep the oil because that's where the money is. That's what kind of black people do. Now, going back to the Draymond Green situation, Draymond Green wanted to stay. But Draymond Green wanted his money. He wanted what his value was. And the question is, if he wouldn't have got his value, he would have left. And you see
Right.
players that do this. And what happens? When these players leave, they always talk shit about, white people always burning jerseys and shit like that. And that's essentially what people are doing to us. They're like burning our jerseys, talking about why could you leave, all this other bullshit, blah blah. But at the end of the day, the people you mentioned, nobody wants to really address that competitive thing. And if you want to say that somebody's lame, because this is what kills me about this argument, people will say, well, you only leaving because you lame. So if I'm lame, why do you care? If it's really that somebody's
Right.
lame, then why is
Exactly.
it that not only do you not care, but you want to? Because everybody keeps making this argument that you can leave, but you don't have to raise noise while you leaving. Well, it's not really leaving. Like black men do not talk in the same situation that black women talk. Black men are really just saying, I'm fucking with who I want to fuck with, and then I'm fucking with people that give me what I'm trying to get. Whether that's sexual access, whether that's
And,
respect, because you get sexual access from black women and not get no damn real respect from black women. Also, we're not talking about individuals. They keep on making this like an individual argument. There is a group collective issue when it comes to the lack of respect that black men are given from black women. The only exception to that rule is when they want to fuck. And really that has more to do with what they want to do. That this is a fact. And people keep on trying to individualize it to, well, it's nothing wrong with the community, it's just your lane. Because obviously if that's what it sounds like. But then they acknowledge that there is issues, but then they want to downplay how deep the issues actually are.
and,
Or they change the
and,
conversations entirely. But anyway, yeah.
and also, and you know what, and I alluded to that when I was speaking to him about the competitiveness. And the thing is, he couldn't call. The thing that he kept saying is, what are they competing for? And he's saying the culture is something that's important to the people, to the black man. And I was like, well, you keep trying to use culture as a, and I felt that he kept doing that as a form of dick policing. I'm like, listen, you got Generation Z's who ain't giving a fuck,
Well, I
who out
mean,
here dating whoever they want. You
culture
can't
is
use,
irrelevant because culture is like, no, you're saying the right things, but if he said that, I mean that's some Negro babble right there.
bruh,
Because
dude.
you
I'm
understand
gonna
the
send,
culture is broken.
yeah.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Exactly, because I'm gonna definitely send you the link, and I joined that panel, and I'm like, no, because I'm like, it doesn't matter. Dudes don't care, but because old man was on there and he alluded to that, he kind of agreed with it because he said it, but I was like, no, dudes make compromises all the time. Men have the lowest standard. We didn't already prove that we will fuck fat, ugly
Well,
bitches
that's
or
code
anything
for
else.
I don't have
So
an answer, so do it anyway. That's all that is. Because
yeah,
to bring culture up, it's like, okay, so I can make the argument that not make the argument. I would challenge him and say, okay, name me another group of women that have a worse culture. Like fuck race. Let's just talk about the African diaspora. So everybody that would be lumped in the African diaspora, rank me ADOS black female culture. Rank it. First, second, third, last. And then it's gonna be I don't know because I ain't looked at other cultures. So you don't know. So you arguing for something you don't know what the value is, But the other part in that, because I want Super Trick to jump in here too. The other part is when he said, "What are you competing for?" Exactly. That's the typical black female response. What are you competing for? Now, when it comes to black men, all of a sudden, pussy is God, no matter what package it's wrapped in, even if it's wrapped in an obese package. But for black men, what are you competing for? That's literally a black female response.
it is. It
And
is. I wish I was surprised it came from him.
yeah, but see, that's what they really think. When you probe people's minds, and they're not trying to talk in like giving narratives. This is the shit they really think. What do you compete? What do you fuck you think? Protection and provision. Like everyone, like a husband, a fucking boyfriend. A fuck the life energy that BGS would say, the security and
Right.
shit that comes along with
The
that. The
essence,
fuck you
of
talking
course.
about? Now, if I say, what are you competing for when it comes to getting that white man, you motherfuckers tend to know it. Or when it comes to getting non-black men, they tend to know it. Like shit, why do you think but see that I know he really didn't have an answer. So he was trying to talk his way through that shit. So yeah, man, you got to do it for the culture. What culture? Black culture is in the shit. You can if you're trying to make an argument about black culture for black culture right now, then you clearly don't know what culture is because
But
that would justify the argument.
And the thing with that is, what I guess he was alluding to that because the so-called non-select dude, and here's the thing, he was talking really about the so-called black nerds, those archetypes. And I asked him, I said, in the black community, where all your bad boys are failing at school at an alarming rate, they can't even read fifth grade level. How many of these so-called Steve Urkel archetypes that there are in the black community?
Well, first
Keep
of all,
saying because
non-select according to who? That's the question. Because
right, exactly.
if you are, it's like, you know, to somebody that worships Satanism, God is the evil, not loose. So it's like according to who? So when we talk about what is
Right,
quote unquote select or lame and all of that, you're in poverty.
right,
Because here's the thing. Let me say it this way. If you know, I said this on another panel. Shout out to Roger. They were talking about dustiness. And it's like, okay, so a woman is never gonna outright say, I date dusty dudes. They're never gonna
right.
say that. They're never gonna say, well, dusty dudes got great dick, so I'm cool with dating dusty dudes. Because that's gonna make her look fucking stupid. You know, even though I've heard women say, I've heard women say that low key. Like niggas that ain't shit got the best. They know what they're doing is what my point is. My point is you have every right to do what you want to do for any reason you want to do it, but don't sit there and try to change the narrative because you know on the surface it's gonna make you look like a goofy bitch. Like on the surface,
Mm-hmm.
you gonna be seen as a chick. Like, well, why am I always with niggas that ain't shit? Well, because the niggas that you choose, I know how to put it down. And that's cool. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. But then you can't really make a complaint if you've already declared that because you know what you're there for. It's just like when dudes say that females are crazy. But when women do crazy shit, if you date crazy women, ain't nobody sitting there feeling sorry for you. That's basically what my point is. So when people make this lame argument, that's a deflection. So my answer is if you're going to say that black men are talking about SYSBM because it's Donald Glover niggas, then why do y'all feel threatened? Because they're lame, so it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter where they go, but you know, it shouldn't matter. So it matters because you know they have power because you know they have leverage. That's why it matters.
Right,
So
right.
and also what's the answer to that? Is the answer is well stay your lame ass, stay in a community that thinks you're lame. The fact that he said lame, I would say that if any community that thinks you're lame is a community that does not value you. If the community does not value you, you do not deserve loyalty to that community.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Well,
understand the logic behind like some of the shit that people say, but I don't want to make it about him because you know he say the same shit that everybody, a lot of these other. It's like the standard 10 shit that people be saying, you know. So I ain't worried about that because I date mostly black women. My brothers date mostly black women, and we have dated we have dated non-black women. So most people, everybody's SYSBM is not necessarily on it because most people ain't only on some I want to date Becky shit. See, they trying to frame SYSBM is just like the new interracial wannabe dating 2.0. But the point is, nobody's asking you for permission. That's what people don't understand. Y'all talking as if we asking for somebody justification and validation. You're lucky people are even on here telling you, giving you why their perspective, because we really don't want to do it. Because again, and I'm gonna tell you this, Pharaoh, and I'm gonna back off. I'm gonna let Triz get in and Roger get in. Guess what? It ain't nothing. I'll tell this to Tony Mitchell. The only thing you can do is call somebody a lame ass nigga. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. If I point, so white men, non-black men are not fucking with black women. So does that make them lame? Africans ain't really fucking with black women. Like, does that make them lame? Ain't nobody really fucking with black women like that. So why is it that only black men are lame? You know, that makes no sense. But see, he finds
Mm-hmm.
honor in submission. And he finds honor in trying to get you know, tame an untamable person, and that's it. That's a part of the disease, actually. And at the end of the day, the only thing he can do is call somebody lame. He can't do shit about it. He can't make black men stay. He can't make black men do the. They have no power. All these select niggas can't do shit but fuck a bitch. They can't
Exactly.
do nothing
Exactly.
but be a goddamn concubine to a bitch. And at the end of the day, that's still a concubine. BG has said that. At the end of the day, you are providing a service. You may be getting something that you want, but you still providing a fucking service. Just the benefit
Servicing
is
her.
you get easy pussy. That's all it is. Anyway, so Super Triz, what you know, yeah. What's up, O'Shea?
yeah. So I think it's really, you really have to look at, prior to the proliferation this recent proliferation of SYSBM ideology were considered lame when they were vying for the attention of Black women. So how can you call them lame now and say it is due in part to them pursuing women other than Black women? That doesn't make any sense because they were already lame before. But really and truly, again, this is merely an attempt, right, to take the SYSBM ideology and really hone in on choices for intimacy in an attempt to trivialize it, not respecting the fact that it goes far beyond what men choose as far as women are concerned. It's an entire methodology that is applied to many aspects of life, not just who you date. It's choices on life choices, what neighborhood you may live in, what type of career fields you may enter, what type of environments you may frequent. I mean, like saving yourself is really, you're making decisions that benefit you because you understand the concept of trajectory. This is something that is inherent to men. It's not necessarily inherent to women, the actual aspect of trajectory. So that aspect of trajectory is you looking not just for today and tomorrow, but you're looking at how the decisions you make now will affect you and your lineage for years to come. So in order to do that, you have to set yourself up with a partner that will align themselves with your trajectory, as opposed to women who are uncultured, have their own agenda, and will derail your plans. This is the reason, this is the whole concept of saving yourself. It's not just, it goes beyond mere aesthetics. Because I guarantee you, if men thought that they could find a Black woman who they were mentally and ideologically compatible with, who happened to be Black, that's the option that they will go. Because why? It's a lot easier. A lot of men are actually in proximity to Black women.
Yeah, they mentioned that
makes
when
more
it came to
sense to
Obama
pursue.
and Michelle, by the way, like what you talk about with that trajectory. But go ahead.
Well, see, it makes more sense to let's just be honest, right? It's a lot easier. It would be theoretically, it would be a lot easier to date a Black woman. Number one, you have proximity, right? Number two, you don't have that scrutiny from the general populace coming from the Black community. Number three, you don't have the scrutiny coming from the community of the individual who you're choosing to date, because you both are from, theoretically from the same community. So there isn't that backlash. So the fact that men are looking beyond the confines of the quote unquote community should tell you that it's a dire circumstance. This is a dire situation. This is the last resort. Men have said enough is enough. I'm expanding my horizons, because we've already tried the conventional way. We tried the way that, from a man's perspective, we're looking at logic. This should be the logical choice. The logical choice should be somebody who has a similar background, a similar culture, and somebody's in the proximity to me. But obviously that doesn't work. This is why men are choosing to save themselves. And the men that actually have pursued Black women is proving itself to be a fruitless endeavor, low yield endeavor. Matter of fact, that's the new acronym, LYE, low yield endeavor. It's a lie.
Well, that's why, when women, and we're going to play some clips, to make this interesting, but that's why I want to get Roger's take on it. But this is why a lot of women, when they talk about their responses, they're going to do SYSBW and shit like that. I'm like, y'all been doing that for decades. Y'all already, I don't understand. What do you think all of it? Like, come on, man. Like this, but see, that feeds into that narrative that women have stayed, and you're going to hear some of that bullshit in here. And at the end of the day, by the way, SYSBM is not even necessarily, again, people trying to frame it as, like, I saw this post on one of the hashtags posts I follow, which said the Black gender war is genocide. See, nobody can frame it as a culture war. Nobody wants to frame it like that. They want to frame it as it's genocide because it's division. It's not division. This is why I got respect for Jason Black. Jason Black says, "I'm here. I come to divide. I am a divider, and I relish it." Because he said, I'm separating the wheat from the chaff. I'm separating who's really on what he would call code and then what it really is. You know, it's not, and this bullshit, this childlike shit that black people have about not wanting to divide. This is really code for I just want to sweep stuff under the rug and not talk about it. I don't want to talk about uncomfortable things. This is why when black people start arguing, it's not the point of what's being said. It's the point that something is being said. Like when you look at this FBA versus ADOS stuff, look at all of the stuff that's coming. ADOS is pretty much Black Lives Matter 2.0. And let's keep it real. They were not, I knew that Tony and Yvette were on that bullshit, but they basically outed themselves 100%. They're basically want to be Black Lives Matter 2.0 without the funding, pretty much, which ain't nobody worried about that because you don't hear about Black Lives Matter 2.0 yet, right? People were saying that people don't have to like Tariq, but Tariq and Jason, everybody was saying that because they're saying that they had a financial reason of doing something. They were really part of them were financially motivated. Because they, I guess, as if Yvette and Tone have raised money to do shit or demonstrated they're capable of doing so. And so now all this stuff came out. It's shit like that. People don't really want to address what's really in there. They don't want to say we need to be on the same page to actually move something forward. And that's regardless of what the agenda is. That's not necessarily what a quote unquote black agenda. It could be like a black male like agenda, you know, as far as addressing a lot of the stuff that black men deal with that ain't nobody else gonna care about. So anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna play some clips. I want to get Roger, what's your thoughts, and then Donnie, what's your thoughts on this? I'm curious what Donnie's thoughts on. I'm curious of what I don't think anybody got an issue with women on this panel, but I know particularly, Super Triz, you're in a market where Seattle, where like brothers like you are in, are heavily men that are capable are heavily competed for, like very much so across races. And I know Donnie, Donnie is the bitch whisperer, or a bitch whisperer. So I'm curious of what Donnie thinks about the SYSBM thing as well. So anyway, we're gonna go with Roger.
I just don't have no fear. That's all it is. I just go ahead.
Yeah, and then Roger, and then Donnie, and then we'll play these clips because I've been wanting to play these clips for a while. Go ahead.
Well, I think one thing that a lot of people don't really think about when it comes to this argument, because just how you were saying about sexuality, when it comes to what the women are doing, it is not based on sex. Don't get me wrong. Everyone likes attractive people. That's understandable. We all like attractive people. But when black women make their choices about the men that they're gonna really do something with, the men they really want to have a kid by, and things like that, black women go to two extremes. Either they want the man that makes 100,000 or better, which in American society is an extreme because that's only 7% of the population. Therefore, automatically that makes it an extreme.
And that's like 2% in the black community. But go ahead.
Yeah, and then they go for the guy who has nothing to offer, because I call him the compromise man, because it's not just Pookie. And see, black women hide behind certain things because it's more than just Pookie. Any dude that's in a compromised position, meaning you have so many baby mamas, nobody, because you got too many seeds in too many different places. Or you might be the guy that you might be married, but she the side chick. You can't check her because she always had the threat of telling your wife. You know what I'm saying? It could be the chick who knows how to mess your job up, or she has the information to mess your business up. It's always that they're always trying to deal with the man from a compromised position, because at the end of the day, what they're trying to truly avoid is patriarchy. They're trying to avoid a man being in a position to tell them what to do. And if they're going to give that up, they want to give it up for the multimillionaire, the guy who's in that 100,000 a year or better, because that's who becomes multimillionaires. The people who make 100,000 or better, they have the ability to become multimillionaire. So if I'm going to give up my agency or to even compromise with a man, even if it's for a period of time, I want to do that for a man that's basically making seven figures, really. And if you don't make seven figures, the thing is they just don't want to cooperate with you anyway. It doesn't mean you can't get one. It doesn't mean you can't sleep with them, because I don't care what nobody say. Black women have a whole culture. They sleep with just about every black man, not to mention all the other men from other groups. they sleeping with just about all of us. I don't
Thank
know
you.
nobody.
Thank you.
I don't know no position where now. Don't get me wrong. A woman will have a relationship with a dude that's he may sell drugs or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? You can put him in the pookie category because he's not making legal money, so he can always be compromised very easily as well. But who gets cheated on the most? Those type niggas. You know what I'm saying? They get cheated on more than anybody. If you deal with a straight and narrow type of brother, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying those men don't ever get cheated on too, but the woman has to make a decision on this guy lose. You know what I'm saying? Not saying they won't do it at all, because again, black women are into hoe culture. The one thing you can't stop them from doing is jumping on dicks. I don't care what nobody say. They're gonna jump on somebody's dick. And if you look at who they have children by, why do so many women have children by men who do not have good employment? Meaning they make 10,000 or less legally. Because at the end of the day, they just want a baby. And they'll take a baby from any nigga willing to give it to them. You see what I'm saying? That's why you have men in better positions.
You as in general.
But I'm saying though, it's what people don't look at it in that concept. It ain't the fact that they can't get. It's not just men who are working and doing something themselves don't want to give them a baby, because if they became the woman he wanted, he would let her have a baby. The truth is, they don't want to give those women a baby.
They use that as a means of getting around marriage. Like a lot of women use, that's why you see single mothers try to low key uplift the mother over a wife. This is why women that are married or that preach marriage too hard are low key shamed. The fuck is shamed out of them, because they're seen as that's absolutely.
Yep. But I'm saying that's a concept that I don't really see being talked about in the lexicon. At the end of the day, the women that want children, their standards are so low, they'll have it by basically anyone. Yeah. You don't have to have a job to give them a baby. You don't have to have any ambition to give them a baby. You don't have to have a car, an apartment. You don't have to have anything to give them a baby. So that tells you what their standards are. So even though they try to make it about this whole you're select or not select, or you haven't improved enough and all that, at the end of the day, based on behavior, they don't have a standard, period. So what the hell does being select mean in a culture of women that have no standards? Who cares whether I'm select or not? You're gonna give me pussy anyway.
Yo, what's interesting is, dude, shout out to well, I ain't gonna fuck up his name, but dude did on the thing, he said that there are more non-select millionaires and select ones. Yo, I was looking at it's a website called lux.com. They do a lot of top 10s. They're a good like little luxury brand when it comes to motivation. They're good. Anyway, they had a thing called top 10 billionaires in the world, and some of their stuff wasn't up to date. I'm not gonna lie, but it gave you an idea of who's who. And it had like Robert Smith up there. It had like some Africans up there. But the point. Wow. Anyway, I'm looking at what's called got thrown out the game. Anyway, point being is when you look at these dudes and you just look at the dudes, if you look at how these dudes are, these are not going to be reflective. And no matter what generation you're dealing with, because you can look at the dudes that the generation that they come out of, because some of these dudes are older, like 50, 60, they're not going to be reflective of who gets chosen. Like if they because they didn't know, most of them were, all of them were self-made billionaires. They're not reflective if they were in America who gets chosen. Even if you look at like the billionaire was here with us, Robert Smith, because they had Michael Jordan on there. Michael Jordan was on there because he was a damn Michael Jordan was on there because he was obviously he's an athlete, so that takes him out of the situation. But even Michael Jordan had problems, right? People say Michael Jordan's an asshole, but the point is, Robert Smith, most black people didn't even know who Robert Smith was at all until recently. I've known who Robert Smith was for years now. And that just tells you who we value. And a lot of that, again, is because you have a zeitgeist of a female. And a lot of folks don't want to address that culture piece. This is why we always have the lame comment. This is why we always have these arguments framed in the way that they're framed. It's always, well, you're just complaining because you can't get pussy. And I'm like, okay, so are you saying that there's nothing wrong with the community? Well, I ain't saying that, but you wouldn't be saying nothing if you weren't getting pussy. Because see, this is how they are. This is what's actually made them commit to it. So anyway, I want to get Donnie in here, and then we're gonna play the first clip. I see you in here, Mike, and then we're gonna play the first clip, because the first clip is the interesting one. So what are your thoughts on the concept of SYSBM? You know, what do you think of the motivations, and just give me your thoughts in 2-3 minutes.
Nigga, I did it not even knowing what the fuck it was, just because I was tired of American. like my chick is British, so I did it not even know what the fuck it was, because it was a headache dating American women. I have no problem getting women. I have no problem going out and dealing with women. But when you actually get to a relationship with these chicks, they be off the chain. And I don't have time for the headache. I don't have time for the games. It's not something I want for my life. It's a headache. So I started a while ago just kind of dating women of other races and ethnicities, right? Or not ethnicities, but like cultural backgrounds. And it to be honest with you, it's one of the best things I've ever done. So
yeah,
and
I got a question.
I'm a bitch whisperer. I don't have no time. I don't have no problem getting women. It's just that much fucking easier.
Yeah, so birds of a feather flock together. As far as Donnie, so I'm sure you know dudes that are other bitch whisperers. You know, their level in the force may be different, but they're and I want people to understand when I say bitch whisperer, I mean because a lot of dudes may be able to get women, but they're pre-qualified. They try to act like game. They got game when in actuality they just know their niches. They know how to target the women. Like seriously, like you know, if you're a light skinned dude, I'd say go for Afro Latinas. You know, you know you're gonna get points just for that because they got it. Not saying all of them the same, but you get what I'm saying when I say that. My point is, if you know your niches, that's not game. That's just good marketing. There's a difference. But I got this dude on here. Yeah, the BGS on here. But anyway, my question to you is, other dudes, do you think other dudes that have just filtering for dudes that don't have a problem getting the women they want, do you think that those dudes operate in an SYSBM fashion as far as how they date? Or do you think they well, I'm gonna keep that there and then see what you say.
Well, you know, I got a lot of friends that pick up on women with no problem, and it's just because it's so much easier. Like I've had black women try and talk to me, black American women try and talk to me and holler at me, and within a few minutes, I know I can get the pussy. So sometimes I'll dive in just to hit and be what it is. It is what it is, but just the shit that comes with it just ain't worth it. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. Go ahead.
So you're talking about more on the relationship piece, or are you more talking about like as far as the juice ain't worth the squeeze?
On the relationship piece. Now, if you can hit, and then, you know, that's another thing. You know, some of these motherfuckers is fire. Her life is in shambles, but that Nikki is fucking fire.
How many black men are SYSBM when it comes to marriage and long-term relationships? Because that pretty much loops in all the dudes that are quote unquote select as far as how other, and when I say select in like a disparaging way, I'm talking about people that try to take what Rom said and try to use it for their own means. I just want to make that very clear because a lot of people misuse that phraseology as a mechanism of hustling. But when I say, but my point is, you know, one of the main complaints is that black men don't want to get in relationships. So what that says is even dudes that are quote unquote these select dudes with black women, they are SYSBM when it comes to long-term relationships unless they need something from black women, in my opinion, like room and shelter. But would you agree with that or no?
Yeah, because and this is fucked up that I even have to say this. With most black chicks that I've ever met, they don't have anything to offer me in terms of longevity, right? So if it's a situation where I'm dating a chick, 9 times out of 10, she's already got kids. At my age frame, right? I'm 32. So at 32, most of the black chicks that I meet have kids. I don't want to be stepdaddy. So that's already a mark on it. And then when you go from there,
don't be stepdaddy.
I mean, shit is what it is. And then you go from there, you have other issues like she got a bad fucking attitude. So I got to bring you around and have you do shit with my family, and you got a bad fucking attitude. That's not going to work for me. Then these chicks have this mentality of I don't want to have to pay for anything, but I want a full-time job. I'm going to take away from the house. I'm gonna work a full-time fucking job, but it's your job to pay for everything, and my money is just for me to have Louis Vuitton bags and weed. It ain't gonna work for me. So yeah, it's cool to hit these chicks and do all this shit, but long term, it's nothing I really want from you. You have to show yourself.
All right.
And that's not to say that I'm not trying.
So fuck boy rules. I get it. Nah. But
I mean,
anyway,
I, hey guys, can you hear me?
yeah. And then I'm gonna
Yeah,
get BGS in
it's
here and then we'll play the first clip.
all right. A very quick one. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm Mike. I'm calling from the UK. So we're talking about seriously a black man. It is everywhere. A quick story. I was 13 back in the UK. I was in the athletics. There was this black girl. I really liked her. But here's the thing. She would not talk to me. She would talk to everyone else but me. This is the attitude, child. As soon as the white girl come and talk to me, start sympathize with me, having conversation, she's coming and giving me all the talk about blackness and everything. I'm like, why are you talking to me now? I've been chasing you for what? 6 months. We're in the same team, athletics, and she's giving me attitude at 13. I was already like, you know what? I have no time to waste with you. See what I mean? It starts early. It's not even late. It's 13 years old. She's giving me an attitude just to talk to me. I had to pay a ticket or something. I was like, you know what? Just leave it. So
Was she
here,
West
I
Indian
heard.
background, bro?
Pardon me?
Was she West Indian by background?
No, not at all. Not at all. Listen, I consider myself, I know there's this whole thing here. I'm Cuban and Brazilian. I'm black. I'm Bantu. I was born in the UK, Cuban background, but I'm a black man, and I see myself not as a Latino. I'm saying it right now here in the podcast. Sorry for all the Latinos, but I'm black first.
Well, I
So
mean, the very thing you brought that up, the reason why I say that is because you got to understand. Look, I understand that the UK. Look, we're not saying that on shit. Nobody. I want to say this because everybody says that it happens everywhere. Nobody's saying that fuckery only happens in the United States. I don't know where people got that from. Well, no, I do know where they got that from because people always
it's
talk about if you go
everywhere.
overseas. But my point is, there's different degrees to it. Also, when you look at what you're talking about, I mean, the way you even described yourself is there's a lot more. Well, in the UK, you got a couple of more component moving parts. See, in Black America, we have Black immigrants, and you have people that's been here for a long time. So, and even the Black immigrants are still looped into Black culture. So I'm not saying they're other, but what I'm saying is in the UK, you got Black people that's been there, but you also got like a lot of immigrant stuff. Where it's a lot of tribal stuff that goes. I'm not justifying nothing she did. That was pure fuckery.
Gotcha.
I'm just saying that it's a lot more of that going on in the UK. So there's more like moving parts when it comes to culture and comes to stuff like that. But I know y'all still deal with laws that allow, fuckery. So it's not. I'm not saying it's better. I'm not saying it's worse. I'm just saying it's different. So when a lot of times when people come over here and say like, well, it's the same over there. I believe that y'all go through some shit, just like how Canadian blacks may say some shit. But it's always got to. Really, Black people from UK, y'all need to tell y'all story a little bit more. It needs to be more Black UK YouTubers so people can get more insight into that. But so what I want to do is BGS, because I know you've been waiting. I particularly email him. Oh yeah, I'm gonna show that picture you sent because that's going into my why you don't trust dudes that got nothing but daughters category. I'm about to key that shit up. That guy key that shit up while you talking. I ain't even out you as far as that's where it came from.
Well, no, it didn't come from me. Somebody's told me to send it to you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, you can see that it was forwarded to you, so you know it didn't come from me.
Oh, that's true.
He said, didn't you see the message that send that with this?
No, I saw the meme. I got hung up on the meme, so I said, oh, this is funny.
Well, it's funny, but it's also true. The thing is, it's true for every human experience. Okay, if you don't have the experience, then then you're going to be missing something. It is what it is. So it can be positive or negative, but in the end of the day, the picture does. It is true. If you're never married, you don't have that experience. Or you do. There's an experience that's missing from your life. If you don't travel, there's an experience missing from your life. If you don't have kids, there's something that's missing from your life. Now, can you compensate for it or can you do without it? Yeah, you sure can. But the thing is, at the end of the day, if you don't have that experience, you don't have it. It's like if you never have sex, okay, you're not going to die without sex. But the thing is, you're going to be missing something as far as a human experience if you don't have it.
So my thing is, what do you think about this argument that people make as far as if you really care about the black community, you gonna have black babies above everything else?
Because that is called tribalism, and everybody has
Any
it.
kid I have is gonna be a black baby. It doesn't matter if I have it with a Chinese woman, a white woman, whatever. My kid's gonna be black. So that's a dumb conversation.
Or basically, let me ask you a question. So if a woman has a baby with you, and you're black, is that baby Chinese?
My baby's black. The Chinese is gonna disrespect my kid.
I don't necessarily subscribe to that,
what I'm saying is, you can say anything you want. But saying it is, in fact, there was a video that was put up by a black Japanese woman, and she was she was in Japan, and she says, I said, shit, I'm not black, I'm Japanese. In other words, all these things are designations, okay? They're just designations. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, you got to look at it like this. If the police come and pick her black ass up, what is she gonna be listed as?
But she's in Japan. Well, the reason why I say no, I get what BGS is saying, because a lot of people don't understand, and I know whoever said that, I believe you understand this, but most, and Mr. Research used to champion this a lot too. We can agree to disagree on that, but let me go back based on what you said is the correct approach, which is if I have a kid, they black, that I had them. Well, just talking from that perspective, at that point, it becomes a culture battle. Yeah. So the question is, so who wins out? That Chinese family, or which is going to be a lot more organized than the typical black male family that does that. And so then, which is they're going to identify with? Because you can say what you want to say, even if you're being given a patriarchal role, but at the end of the day, she's going to feel what she feels, and she's going to do what she does. This is why you got, what's that chick, the tennis chick, the soccer chick, Nomi, technically, the Japanese are very xenophobic. No matter, and they're not going to change. I don't say that in like a negative way. It is negative, but they're very tribal. Let's say it that way. At the end of the day, she knows that they're never really going to accept her, but she still chooses to fight, to fall on that sword. She chooses to die on that hill.
Well, that's where the money is. It's not she dying on the hill. She's a two-time.
I think the money. I can make the argument that the money is with her declaring, like Stan Mick for declaring more black.
Bullshit.
Don't think so.
Bullshit. They claim because she's a tennis champion.
Because she won, exactly.
They paying her a ton of money, and she gonna make way more money declaring Japanese than she will claiming black.
So, yeah, I don't look. I just made I mean, I'm just saying Serena Moon, but because she
let her go to China with them slanted eyes and see how much money she makes in China.
All right, so
let me touch on this real quick.
Yeah, I agree to that.
Well, let me touch on this part real quick though, because when you talk about having a baby, there's a lot of women that want the baby. Understand the women want to have these kids. The reason they're saying certain stuff that we're fouling as tribalism, they want you to have a baby without the marriage, because number one, they don't respect a lot of these men in the first place. And if a man doesn't trust you enough, well, smarter men, if you learn the game a little bit earlier, like I did, I don't trust you with a kid if I don't trust you in a marriage. So you'll never get the kid out of me if I don't marry you. And that's a big roadblock for a lot of sisters, and they understand that. So I think the whole shaming about the kids and you have to do this and you do to even be qualified, it's just to make me make a dumb decision that doesn't help me. It doesn't help me as a black man in America to have a baby by a chick I'm not even married to. Being married hardly even works nowadays. But to have a chick by a baby, I mean, I haven't even married to, with all the stuff we done seen over the last few decades, it's almost it's like extremely stupid at this point to do it, and you already know better.
Well, because the thing is that we're working.
Yeah, so
the thing is we're working on about 3 or 4 different levels. Okay, the state doesn't care. Okay, the reason that you have all this stuff coming down, not on just on black men but all men, is because the state doesn't care. They need a certain amount of babies. They don't care. Okay, they don't give a fuck about you, about the average man. And basically, this structure this Western structure that we see going on all over the world, you're seeing the exact same thing. So the out of wedlock rate is just not out of control. Here, it's 60% fucking Sweden, where there are no black people, or very few black people.
True.
The highest single mother rate is what was it, Iceland, which is like 70%. Ain't no black people in Iceland. Okay,
I'll add Ireland as well. Ireland, North England.
In the UK, it's the single mother rate is over 50%. You have 3% black people. So how is this a black problem? It's not a black problem. It's a Western structural problem. Okay.
Well, the single motherhood rate is not what I'm referring to, because just because a woman is single mother doesn't make her. And I'm gonna start swapping people out a little bit, FYI. So I'm gonna bring Archer in, because I know Archer's been waiting. And then Roger, and I'll swap people back in. But yeah, this is Nomi Osaka for nobody doesn't know. The point is, as far as the single motherhood rate, that's different. That's a little bit different. That's why I don't lean in on that, because I'm talking about more this gynocratic pathology, which is not everywhere, because the law and the laws do not allow it to be as pervasive. And so here's the thing: if you ask, for instance, people in certain countries, of course, they're going to say they have issues. Like even like Japanese in particular, they have their issues. And but at the same time, that's still that's a much more patriarchal culture. So stuff is not going to be tolerated and gotten away with.
Edward, I got like 1 minute. Can I get a comment in right quick to answer your question you made earlier?
Yeah.
I'm kind of at work, so I'm being a really bad employee right now. But I've always said why they care about it if the lame people are talking. Basically, who's SYM whatever talking to? Like, who are we talking to when we make these videos? We're not talking to white people. We're not talking to black women. We're basically talking to other men, right? So what they're afraid of is you inciting a riot, because they see if your message gets out, the number of people who hear the message, if it grows, it's gonna be like an avalanche effect, and that's really what they're trying to stop. So that's why they don't care whether you're lame or not, as long as you're speaking. They don't want that riot to start. You know what I'm saying?
If that is the case and that's what they want, they're actually going about it the wrong way. Because the thing is, if you wanted to suppress it, you should ignore it and not attack it.
Yeah, and that's why I know it's a threat. That's why because they see they want to act. This is why when people make the comment, I don't see it in real life, I'm like, you're a liar. Because if you didn't see it in real life, which is dudes basically choosing the best person, this is really what's going on. Most black men do not say, I declare I am not dating black women. I'm not talking about they got to declare it. Most dudes, kind of like Donnie, they're gonna swing through. If the chick strikes her fancy, they may put up with enough bullshit, or if they get choosing signals to get the pussy, because they have a certain predictability rate, where it's predictable as far as how long that bullshit is. Because they, I have that. I know what I can deal with and not deal with. This is why. So the point is, they'll do that, but then it becomes what Donnie said with the relationship piece. They're not doing this. Is why a lot of black female complaints is he won't marry me. He won't come off the market. No, they'll come off the market. It is not. You just haven't met that standard. And now it's on the standard for you to meet. Now it's a problem. So my point is, at the end of the day, most dudes, they know this. This is why when they see it on YouTube, they want to attack it, because they have this belief that it's what people are hearing that's causing them to do this, when in reality, these Z's are not hearing SYSBM and then saying, hey, that makes sense. They have already been doing it. They just stumble upon the shit on YouTube and be like, oh, wow, this is a little bit more pervasive, because I didn't think about it like that. I was thinking about this bitch, called me lame once, and I said, all right, that's it for black females. This white bitch is giving me pussy. So that's how a lot of dudes think about it. But anyway, shout out to Ricky Smiley's son.
Well, let me say this real quick. Go ahead, Super. Go ahead. I was just wanted to say that when I brought up that small piece about
you just bored for the last 20 seconds. You're boring horribly.
Yeah, that's him and his Bluetooth. I keep telling this nigga get a better Bluetooth. You don't want to do it though.
Get the cheap Bluetooth, man.
The cricket wireless.
Better deal with the Apple.
Yeah. And what I was trying to say was that when it comes to the it's not about the single mothers, it's about black men that do not want to have children because you don't have a way to guilt them into fixing problems in the community that they did not cause. It's not even about them being single mothers. If they just want you to be involved in the process so they can say, well, you had kids out of wedlock too. You're the problem. You helped mess up the community. So now you owe us as women to come back and fix this. That's really what they're trying to do. That's why they have such a problem with men that don't have kids.
They really don't want it fixed.
Fuck, because all this shit, because a lot of this is low key tricking. People act like women can't be tricked. If you raising a grown ass man in your house and he ain't leading the house, then basically you tricking. Women need to stop acting like they don't be tricking with room and shelter.
That's exactly.
It's funny you mentioned that, Edward, because not too long, I want to say last week, I was in Safeway grocery store, and I seen this guy. He had like his little phone out, and I guess he was watching some type of sports, basketball, football game. So I think it was a football game on his phone, and he was with a woman. The woman had the kid. By the looks of things, it didn't even look like the kid was his, but just by his disposition towards the kid. She was walking ahead, doing her grocery shopping. He was walking like, way behind because he's so busy on his phone watching the game. It was like he was like her second son, and I think like, from that particular perspective, it looked like he didn't even have a job. He had on some little Jordans, some old run over Jordans that she probably bought for him. You know what I'm saying? But like at the end of the day, she's in control of that situation. So like he got to ask her like, "Ooh, can I get this? Can I get this box of cereal?" He got to ask her like he's another one of her sons.
That's the gynocracy. And I remember I played that clip that from what's her name? Where she actually had that particular skit. That was in 1968. Okay, this is just a gynocracy. This has been going on, man. This is not something new. No, you guys see it and you observe it and said, okay, wow, this is something that just happening all of a sudden. No, this is baked into the culture, man.
Yeah, and this is how you know. And my argument, when people make the argument, because the last thing we're talking about, her name is Ari Lennox. This chick crying, talk about because somebody called her and said she looked like a fucking walk wilder. Without her
makeup, yeah, well, maybe.
On the Agent Zero, what's the dude from Wizards? He used to play in the Wizards. They call him Agent Zero. You know who I'm talking about?
You talking about yeah.
He don't give a fuck.
That's fine. But Patrick Patterson said the same thing. So,
but here's the question: How many dudes has she called busted? How many dudes has she called run over? See, women can never accept scrutiny when it comes from a man because they're so used to a man kowtowing and catering to them because they're pursuing them. But when a man's not interested in you and he actually says what he feels, all of a sudden it's a big uproar.
Because okay, she's talented. You can't say that she's not, and then she has the cheekbones to where if she she can move up 2 spots if you make her upright, right? But she wasn't born with that, man. She wasn't born. She's born average. Yeah, she's born average. And she's been turned down. That's how come she's so hurt.
And this is the thing. Yeah, it's crazy. You're right. Because I mean, black men just have to deal with that, and because that's just part of the course. And I'm gonna keep it real. A lot of black men need your ability to deal with that is your superpower. You can deal if you can like shake off rejection easily, then really the world is almost your oyster, because then at that point it's a number game. A lot of black men don't realize that, and this is why I say that black men need to know. I get the Me Too shit and all that, but they shouldn't be afraid to approach. This is why, even though I say I'm pro-black, but I tell people you fuck with who fucks with you, and this is why you expand the shit. But what women will do is they'll try to flip that and try to make it like they're a victim. I mean, she's not. I wouldn't say she looks like a rock wilder, but no. I'll say this: if she acts like a bitch, then I can see a dude throwing that out there because she might look like one and she's acting angry on that attitude shit. I maybe could see that, but the point is, it's not even about her. First of all, she was caping for the LGBT community hard too, calling black people homophobic way back when. So these folks be acting like I be forgetting, when they pull a Janelle Monáe, talk about black people are homophobic, and then they come in here trying to ask the sisterhood to save them. you know, talking and you know, because this is just more fodder for like Paris and other people like that to say, "Ooh, look at these black men." See, as if they are just these innocent little snowflakes, and that shit gets on my fucking nerves on its own. But yeah, I mean, she's the exact same situation as K Michelle, except she don't even got the benefit of being lighter in tone. So she's in a situation where
she's also better looking than K Michelle.
You think,
I'm not saying a whole lot, but she is better looking than K Michelle.
Anybody to say we don't give credit to the dark skinned sisters, I mean, she actually is, but she has the type of look. She has the type of look that if her personality, I'm curious what you say, BG. What you think about this? Her personality would move her. It can move her down and it can move her up.
Yeah.
You know, like if you got a good personality, she can do it.
Yeah.
And you agree with that?
Yeah. She's a 5.5, so she's a borderline chick. So yeah. So a lot depends on her personality.
I told Solo that shit. And Solo timed me out because I was on my regular name channel. He's like, "Man, you trolling? Why you bitch everybody?" Because we were talking about before and after pics, and I said you got like the highest standard. Maybe it's because you're out of California, but I thought I had high standards. So you say she's a 5? She's an upgradable 5?
Check her out. Check her without makeup, and then you.
But you know what? Not only is she a 5.5, there's a lot of nuance involved. Like for her, she has to focus on things like she has to keep her nails done. She has to have on lotion at all times. I'm talking about, I don't care if you're at the gym, lotion on, you ain't got to have on makeup all the time. But I mean, your hair has to be like even if you wear your natural hair, slack at all. Because that 5.5 can easily drop to a 4.8.
So let me ask this, BGS, real quick, and then I'm gonna play this first clip, and we'll get everybody into it. I'm talking about the average black. Let's say a black man that's in the top. Let's say 30% as far as income, not necessarily 10%. Let's say between the 30 and 20, but not necessarily the top 10%. What average number? For assuming a black woman had a great personality and she was, basically acceptable tolerance in fuckery. So basically almost fuckery free compared to what we deal with. Let's say 10% fuckery rather than the average, like 50% fuckery. What would you think the rating that she would have to be for her to get a dude? Like, let's say a dude that makes $50,000 to $80,000 a year.
Even dudes making 6 figures, date married women that are 5s.
So they
maybe 6, yeah.
They're cooperative and everything.
Because they're cooperative and everything. Because at the end of the day, man, if you're married, man, it's about business, man. You don't want to get a 9 or a 10, man, that you have to come home and manage everything, after you've been at work 18 hours a day. You don't want that. You're gonna get rid of her.
They may cheat low key. They don't sloppy cheat. They may not cheat all the time, but dip maybe once or twice a year.
They're gonna dip more than once or twice a year, especially if you're going 18 hours a day.
So I got a question. Can black women reasonably expect a black man of any kind of means? Let's say 60,000, even though 60,000 is not no means in like California, for example.
Well, if you consider the median wage for a black man in America is about $23,000 or $24,000. That's the median, half above, half below.
So let's say dude is considered a man of means. So let's just say like 60,000 and up. That's
not man of means, Edward. That's not man of means.
I know, but BGS just said what he said. So we're talking about in black meat. I get what you're saying.
It's all variable, man. The thing is how you define these terms. If you're going to define man of means 80,000 above, define it. But the thing is, where do you define it? You have to draw a line
for that reason, because I don't want people to think you got to be rich and like an athlete. That I'm not talking about necessarily millionaires. I'm not talking like what you would call Master Universe level money, 100 money. I'm not necessarily talking about that. I'm talking about like you can argue, you can clearly
you can take care of a family without your spouse working.
Yeah. So income wise, you're in the top 25%, and let's say looks wise, you're valued there too. My question is, can a black woman reasonably expect a black man to not cheat?
No, not me. Like so basically, you talking about me. Right?
No,
no. I don't mean literally, but I mean figuratively speaking. Like when you talk about somebody who makes X amount of money. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I mean, I make enough to where a woman I'm with doesn't have to work, period. Right?
Mhm.
And it's no way that I'm gonna be honest. Like, and I make that clear with every woman I deal with.
Mhm.
I said, I'm not necessarily looking for somebody outside of the confines of our relationship, but I reserve that as an option because what I let them know is that, fidelity is not a metric for me as a man. That's the metric for you as a woman. Like the attributes I bring to the relationship is different from the attributes you bring to the relationship, because really and truly, when I'm looking at a woman, beyond compatibility, obviously fidelity is the main draw. Like I'm looking for a woman who's gonna have undying loyalty to me.
Okay.
Like beyond that, like what else are you offering me? Because from a financial standpoint, you can't do anything for me unless you're some type of multimillionaire. Because anything that I want, I buy for myself. Period.
Or if you can network,
if you want undying loyalty, she better be below a 6. Okay, that's the only way you're gonna get it. Anything,
you damn right, BGS.
Anything a 7 is a 7, because my daughter is 7+, right? I can tell you anything above where she's at, the undying loyalty, it's out the fucking window.
Well,
right?
that's the exact reason why, even though I had a 10 at one time.
Oh, I feel sorry for you.
Most dudes,
I had a 10. Trust me.
I feel sorry for you.
Understand that, but most dudes understand that. They may not agree with the 7 part, but actually, based on your rating standards, they probably would once they understand how you rate stuff. But because see, you say a 7, these dudes will say a 9.
Okay, there's a 7. A 7 is going to put you in the top 20% of all women, right?
Well, you know what I said, BGS.
If you live in an urban area, if you live in an urban city that has 500,000 people or more, that bitch is gonna cheat. Okay, too many opportunities. This is what it is. At some point in your relationship.
I want to put it like this real quick, Edward. I want to put it like this real quick. I want to put it like this real quick, Edward. And I explained this to some people before, right? When you're talking about a 10, you're talking about a woman that occurs maybe once in every 250,000 people.
Yeah,
let's keep it real. No, we talking about true 10s.
Okay, give or take. I mean, there's levels to 10s, but yeah, I would say.
Yeah, okay. I'm talking about a true 10. In a 10, there's a general consensus amongst all ethnic groups.
Maybe
for the most part, most men will agree.
Maybe 1 in 1,000, something like that. Yeah.
BJ, I'm talking about a true 10.
Oh, you're talking about Uber. We're talking about an Uber 10.
We're talking about the Uber 10s is like one. And so certain cities, there may not be a 10 in your entire city.
That's true.
There's not enough people.
Yeah.
So when you have a woman like that, it's impossible. Like, trust me, I went crazy trying to keep tabs on this woman. I had to let her go. I was gonna go insane.
Yeah.
It's like I would have to like leave, and like soon as I leave, like niggas don't care. They see you walk in with her, and the minute you turn your back, they own her.
And
hey, Super Triz, I said there was a test, right? Because a lot of my women have been 8s, right? And I said, how you know you dating 8 and above, right? I said, take her to a restaurant and go to the bathroom and see who's trying to cruise by your table. They'll let you know.
Oh, and BGS, would you say that's one of the reasons why a lot of dudes don't even get married? They do the single life kind of thing, especially if they're not gonna if they ain't got kids or nothing like that. Yeah, because at the end of the day, we already know what these women are gonna do, and society has already made it very easy for them to do it. So why are you gonna invest those resource commitments? If you already know what it's gonna be. So when women always talk about, well, why aren't dudes settling down? It's like, okay, well, because I'm gonna keep it real with you. And I really want to play these videos because I want to get your opinions on this. And I know, Mike, you've been waiting, so I'm gonna get your opinion, and then we're gonna play it once BGS says what you guys say. But like, give your perspective as far as what goes in UK on that. But my thing is, why is it? I lost my train of thought.
No, I know where you're going, and I'll actually give you the answer, right? Yeah. When I was a kid and I was coming of age, right? The average lifetime partner for a woman of any race was about 3 or 4, right? 3 or 4. Okay, now it's 30. Do the math. It's not everybody knows that the lifetime that women are going to have 30 partners in their lifetime. So if there's an old saying, why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free?
Oh, and that's what I was going to say.
Exactly.
Home wrecker culture is very pervasive, like everywhere. I'm talking specifically. I'm not saying the black community is only like this, but we're talking specifically with that home wrecker culture, even amongst the women, and quite frankly, the dudes too, is very pervasive.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's not like, you know, that Nicole Murphy shit was like, because it was just so blatant and so sloppy. People said, and it wasn't even the first time she did that shit. So it was more a commentary on her being desperate than anything. Because they're like, look at it, you know.
She cheated on Michael Strahan. That's why they never didn't get married.
Yeah, and so my thing is, you know, when you look at how pervasive home wrecker culture is and how women don't even shame other women really for it. It's open season. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge that. They want to act like there's standards and everything like that. There is no standard. And then you got dudes where they just think, look, if she cheat, that's your fault. You know, and not only that, there's a whole bunch of dudes, quite frankly, dudes that really get off on doing that.
I just want to add something here. I've never been happiest since I'm actually using the Patrice O'Neill figure. You know, I'm a fisherman, and I tell them from the beginning, you number 3 here. If you want to move to number 2, you're gonna have to prove me. They get mad at me, and I'm telling you, within 2 weeks, they're in the program and they try to compete to be number 1, to be the Michael Jordan in the boat. I'm telling you guys, listen, life is easier for me. I make good money. I'm fine with me. So I just tell them from the beginning.
What part of UK are you in? Because the only thing I really think about is London and Wales. I don't know shit else. You know?
I'm in London. You know, I live in London. So
London has this section. So depending on what section of London you're from,
I want to say because London has a very
section. London is like New York, okay, where you got
it's
sections.
Crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. I'm telling you guys. So you get in a bar, you don't need to talk really. You know, they check you out. Look, the way you get dressed, the way you talk to them. I don't even talk to girls, right? I just sit there, wait, see what's going on, and within an hour, give it an hour, just attitude, and they come in, I'm like, okay, I don't really want to talk to you. You just talk natural, and I tell them from the beginning, listen, I've got 3 girls in a rota. You're gonna be number 4. They're like, who do you think I am? Well, I'm just telling you the truth, and it works all the time. They hate it. I leave my number. They call me, oh yeah, you're weird.
So
that's the first thing they go.
What groups of dudes? Because you said that like you're Brazilian, which is interesting because you don't really think Brazil, UK. Well, not you didn't say you're Brazilian, but you know what I'm saying. Brazilian. My question is, what groups of dudes, major group? Because you know, in America, you're dealing mainly, you know, white, black, Hispanic, Asian. You know, these are main 3 archetypes, and then you could throw in mixed in there too. But they be kind of throw almost into the Latino kind of situation when it comes to color kind of situation. So, what groups are we dealing with? So we know you got white, you know you got black. So what is it? Is it like Arab or Muslim or what?
You go to Asians as in Indians. So white, black,
so more Indian, they're not more Indian than Orient. Okay.
Exactly. You and Orientals or Chinese or that's what you have here. But there again, you know, for me, the reason why I say that I've identified myself as black.
So rank them as far as preferred. We know if you know you motherfuckers. I'm talking about with black women in particular. We know these motherfuckers get a hold of white men, they're gonna take it. So you don't even gotta say that. But like rank them as far as 1, 2, 3, 4, as far as who's preferred on the law averages.
I'd say, you know, okay, white guy, we come second. I think black guys are second.
Come second here. Ain't no wrong with that. It depends. It depends.
It all depends on what. Listen, it all depends on where you go out and your attitude as well. As a black man, you know, it's all about to me, it's all about the attitude first and what you put out there. So there's no. It's very simple, you know. Be yourself. Everywhere I go, you know, okay, I'm black. So they're like, oh, you're Brazilian. No, I'm black first. The reason why I say that here in the UK, they try. I believe in the UK, in the US, you guys have these columns. You know, how do you identify yourself? You know, Latino, wherever. I'm not Latino because in Brazil, I'm freaking nigger. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? It is what it is, but that's how it is. So I know my background in terms of ancestry, so I identify myself as black. So I go, oh yeah, you. As soon as you tell them you're Brazilian, so
So were you
it
raised in
helps.
the UK or
I
you go
was
back
raised
to
in the U.
Brazil?
I was raised in the UK. You know, I was born. I was born back in Switzerland, and I was raised in the UK. Right. So
Oh yeah, so
I
you more European. Okay, so you ain't like okay, you back and forth from Brazil. Okay.
exactly, but here, you know, and Asian girls, as in Indian girls and black Indian girls love black guys. You know, at the end of the day, you know,
That's interesting. Indian girls don't go for black dudes like that here. I mean, they do, but not like that, like that. Like black men will
yeah.
probably have an easier time getting a white chick than necessarily Indian chick.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because
Yeah.
it's,
He,
I mean, am I
America works
lying?
different.
Chris? Am I lying to being told?
Because it's the financial component. Like the Indian girls will sleep with the black guys on the side in here in America.
Gotcha.
They
Exactly.
starting to, but
They always
like
have. No, they always have.
Well, they will. It's just that they're still from that culture where their parents are involved
Right.
and the people they're dating, and that's that.
Yeah.
You can't tell no Indian father his daughter is dating this black guy.
No.
it
That's
depends
not
how
gonna work
Western.
for them.
I mean, to me, I get what y'all saying, but I've seen Indian chicks turn down white dudes too. Like a lot of times, white dudes will think Indian women are racist because they don't get that white. Anyway, I'm gonna let you finish your thought. Then I'm gonna pull this because I want to pull this view because y'all gonna hit this fuckery today. Like BGS, it's gonna be the own the conversation clips.
Mm-hmm.
So we about to. I just want to show that there's a double standard when people act like, oh, I've never seen SYSBM before. Black women don't do that. But I just want to show how bullshit that is. But anyway, yeah, finish your thought, Mike, and then we'll jump in on this.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it, really. You know, let's move on. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so like I said, the person that I was showing y'all, like this was Ari Lennox, and you know she was crying because you see, yeah, she was basically crying. This is the chick on the left. She was not crying, but she was upset because you know somebody called her name and shit. And I just wanted to talk. Look,
Yeah, she's a basic chick, so.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: it doesn't matter how talented you are.
Mhm.
Your sexual marketplace value is always going to be based on your looks. Your personality can move that up, but the thing about it is, you're dealing with dudes that like when females. I don't care what Kim Kardashian took status and made that mean something, but for the most part, women in status is not going to help you, like in the law of averages, unless you're doing some superhuman shit. It's just not. And women have this belief that they can get to the same level as a dude when it comes to income and it comes to like, you know, a career field. You mentioned this BGS and think that that's going to increase their sexual marketplace value. I don't understand where the fuck they get that shit from because they're fundamentally goofy.
They get that from white folks telling them to compete with their men, but at the end of the day, your money doesn't matter unless I'm a broke nigga. That's it. If I ain't broke, your money don't matter.
They've always competed with black men. It didn't just start. This is, I mean, you know, that's why I played the Honest Report. You had 4 PhDs saying the exact same thing that everybody else says. 4 of them. You had 4 black PhDs saying the exact same thing that everybody else is saying. So in one little hour-and-a-half segment, you had them saying the exact same thing that everybody else is saying. They've always competed with their men.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter till a white person tell them that. So they need a white person to say it to them for them to understand it.
Yeah, because guess who the in fact Maya Angelou said you have black matriarchal control and white patriarchal control. Okay, so in other words, the matriarchy exists instead of a white patriarchy. That's by design. So who they're going to look to for validation is not going to be you.
Well, you got people real talk where they do, and this is how you know when motherfuckers want to talk about white supremacy, I'm like, you're complicit. You got people that they will deny, they'll even deny like there's a matriarchy. They'll say, oh, well, it's a matriarchy in your household, and that's why you say that, which is another form of saying, you know, you're a bitch ass nigga. But it kills me some of the arguments of these motherfuckers.
That means you're not smart.
No, they've been brainwashed to think that this is not something that they came up with on their own. They've been brainwashed.
Get out of these dudes, like the dudes that I got in mind to say that. Like if they say some shit to a woman, they won't get all loud and yellow. If a woman start cussing them out and going at them, go look at that that O'Shea was talking about the ADOS versus the ADOS thing and look at what gets said and how that woman addresses that. And she wasn't even on no fuckery shit because what's called started it, and how any other day he's running his mouth and going like 130%, but this time he shut up like it was his mama fucking talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let me know if y'all hear this, because I don't know if y'all hear this. Can y'all hear that?
No,
not yet. Did you?
Let me see.
Nah.
Oh yeah.
Did you share the sound? Did you share the audio?
When I set it up?
Yeah, you got to make sure you share the audio.
Oh shit, that's on the initial setup, right?
No, I mean, as soon as you do the screen sharing, they'll give you the option to share the audio.
I know, like my bad. Listen, I'm supposed to be a technical guy too, so hold on, let me.
That's funny because I'm not the technical guy.
Oh, okay. I see the little checkbox. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. All right, so let's do this screen share.
Should be at the bottom checkbox.
Yeah, I see it. All right. You know, motherfuckers, they be taking forever. Be like, oh, I can't figure it out. All right, we got this shit. All right.
You would be.
Can y'all hear it now?
Date outside of your race.
Yeah.
How many of you are?
So let's go with this.
How
bullshit.
many of you?
For those y'all don't know, this is an own clip called "Own the Conversation." One of these web show bullshits that they do. As you can see, they got a black male host. As you see, this is nothing but black women. I will show you the fuckery because there's a fuckery in this that y'all may pick up on, but y'all ain't even gonna know until I tell you. This is from September 2019, so this is not a long time, you know. So let's go.
You have dated outside of your race. How many of you would be willing to date outside of your race? How many of you are not willing to date outside of your race? Okay. All right. Well,
now you see that shit right there.
Mm-hmm.
So for these motherfuckers, this is random group of women. You know, these are all black.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of them skew older. That's another key thing to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
They skew older. Most of them are brown to dark skin. You know, it's a dude asking that, basic question. They're comfortable saying it. So they know this shit's gonna be on TV.
Mm-hmm. So
my point is, clearly, if they could do it, they would do it. So the idea of protecting the community that's the bullshit. But anyway, just before that, what do y'all think about that? We'll go through real quick, and then I'll move it forward.
Oh, because they're better than you. There are betters. They have privileges that you don't. You're there to serve them. So, and that's been that way since emancipation. So this attitude that they have is not new.
I got a new motto for the dick police. It's to protect and serve her.
Yeah.
And her. But anyway, go ahead.
There's a reason I played that. Remember I played that Star Trek clip with the Vorta?
Yeah, I'm talking
about you in particular, right? When he says that the Vorta had the Jem'Hadar, the Vorta had the Jem'Hadar loyalty since he was conceived. Same thing in the black race. Black women have had black men's loyalty from the moment they were conceived, and it's the order of things. And the only time things get upset is when that order gets broken. They've always said the 1940s when black men were bringing back Asian wives from Japan and from Philippines and from China, black women losing their shit. This is in the 40s. This is not new. While they were parading their white men out in public, their white husbands out in public. Yeah,
just look at how they reacted to Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
Look at now. Imagine if black men reacted that same way. We still be hitting that should be like fucking 9/11. But anyway, let's go ahead.
Williams, Eve, Rihanna have all found love across the racial divide. More and more black women, of course, seem to be willing to follow in their footsteps. Wendy Harlow, should black women date outside their race?
Black women and all women should date whoever they want to date.
That's the way it's BW.
Now the next question is: would you feel the same way about black men? But see, he got, he got a script.
He know where he is. He knows where he is.
Look, this is the fucking council. He will get Game of Thrones in this bitch.
Michael Bay's didn't on steroids. Yeah, he knows where he is. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Bay. Man, yeah, I fuck with Michael Bay, but he.
I mean, he's making this. He's Derek Jackson. That's all it is.
I mean, Michael Bay didn't need to start a church. He'd be rich.
I was raised in a home by a single Black woman. My mom and my father, my whole life, have had an amazing relationship. They raised me separately, but cordially. In this time of my mom being single, I've obviously met a lot of her boyfriends, and they were multiracial. She dated Black guys, she dated white guys. So I think for me, it was something that I was taught that, I mean, all people are equal and everyone deserves love. I've personally dated outside of my race. I've dated Black guys, I've dated white guys. And I don't think those aspects of them altered what went right or wrong in our relationships. I think whatever our disputes were happened to do with the type of person that I am and the type of person that he was.
I don't mean to pause it. Notice these chicks ain't got nothing to fucking say. Notice ain't no shoulder shrugs, ain't no hair. It's my little cousin would say Harry Potter neck rolls.
Because they can't relate. They ain't dated no white men. They can't even relate right now.
They listening. I'm not looking for head nods necessarily, but it's like, oh, this is just what you do. And these are older chicks. Some of these are older, but anyway.
As a person, not as a race.
Was it easier or harder dating?
Which is exactly what SYSBM say, but
being interracially or not?
No, because I think everything is an education. I think, the main thing is hair. I think, first of all, Black men have a problem with learning these things as well. Like, you have to learn that, I have a beautiful wig on right now, but you're going to wake up with me with a bonnet, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think all these things are just an educational thing, whether it be race, whether it be men versus women, whether it be whatever it is.
On another note, let's assume she didn't have the skin thing, because I get that. But our skin was like, that wasn't the thing. This is goofy with her fucking hair. I'm like, bitch, you doing too much.
No, Edward, we're not gonna let that slide. That skin, like, I'm not dating no chick with vitiligo. I'm not dating no.
I get all that. I'm just saying. I know. I get all that. But what I'm saying is, because she's, without the vitiligo, she's an attractive woman. But
but she got vitiligo, Edward. So it ain't no without
I get what you're saying. That's not what I'm saying, because I'm not about to fuck the bitch real talk. But I'm saying, like, the hair thing, because that's the comment she made with the edge. Well, Black men have a problem with it. No, Black men. I'd rather you have short fucking hair. I'd rather you look. I don't prefer the white hair, but I'd rather you rock that shit than rock that. I'm just sorry, because at least I know what I'm dealing with. And the thing is, you can clearly tell she likes to wear that shit all the fucking time. Like, so anyway.
Well, the thing about it is her basically letting you know that our genes as Black people are not good enough for her. Therefore, she doesn't even want to display coming out of her own head. That's really what she's saying.
Yeah, basically, it's a myth of white womanhood.
But anyway,
all these
this
things
gets
have
better.
to do with education.
Angelica, how do you think about interracial dating?
I agree that it's about the education, because I actually.
All right, I'm not even gonna fuck with y'all and play with and say this at the end. I'm telling you right now, this chick's a transformer. So FYI.
Yeah.
So I don't know, for the audience that don't know that, she's not even a Black woman. All right, she's a transformer.
And the Black woman have no problem with sitting there with a transformer up there
now,
talking about relationship.
Did they know?
She admitted it. Yeah, so yeah, they knew
after the end. But did you think she said that before this clip?
Before they even get started, they tell who these people are and what they do, and so they knew about her. And Black women don't have a problem with that shit.
I mean, think about it, Edward. Like if you're actually in person with somebody, you feel an aura. You know when you're next to a man, because you just feel like it's just like a presence. A man has a certain presence.
Some niggas are that thirsty. That's why you niggas be caught up. But after you get You know, like you ain't feeling the aura. You worry about
one bourbon, one shot, and one beer.
Well, see, there's always been a thing amongst. There's always been a thing amongst black women. If they're finna do something that's complimentary to white men, which them talking about interracial dating is, I don't care what's going on that stage. Black women are not finna do anything to disrupt a white man being complimented. Period. They're just not gonna disrupt that. So it doesn't matter if she's a transsexual or not. Just don't matter at this point because this white man is what's important.
Yeah, and LAR sent this clip to me originally. And the thing about it is, the one thing LAR pointed out was he said this chick is pretending to be a woman better than these chicks are being women, which is crazy when you think about it. No,
but they accept it.
An Italian man, and we were together for 8 years, and I have not been in a relationship since. I don't know if I would actually date outside my race again. There is only really one time that I'm against interracial dating.
Watch this.
And that is when you're not allowed to bring your full self to the relationship. I did not challenge my white partner on his
Get the fuck out of here. Come on.
There it is. And it ain't, but I'm looking at how they respond. They don't have to respond like boo, but you can see it in the body language. And they just, we're
blackness. And instead, I internally
let me.
And instead, I challenge my white partner on his anti-blackness.
Hold on, because I need y'all to get the whole context.
To bring your full self to the relationship, because I was in the relationship where I did not challenge my white partner on his anti-blackness.
Don't mix that shit. I hate when they mix that stuff.
You challenge like
I hate when they mix whatever is gender politics with race. I hate when they do that.
Yeah, because that's really a part of that's the liberal school, by the way. That's the liberals. People always talk about what Republicans do, conservatives do. That's the liberal school of white supremacy, and that's what black people really like. When you look at certain liberal attitudes that black people have adopted, when we're fundamentally more conservative, and people can argue interracial dating is a part of that, but I also argue that the gender bullshit, the wanting to jump out of your gender role, which is a liberal attitude, regardless of what race you're doing it, that actually has exasperated a lot of the interracial shit that people want to talk about. Not only, and also, by the way, abortion is a liberal attitude, and technically I'm pro-choice, but I'm not going to let motherfuckers off the hook when they want to talk about, oh, you diluting the race. Okay, what about these people that weren't born? Because I don't never hear y'all motherfuckers talk about that. Ever. So if you're not going to say one thing, don't say the other.
Well, let me say real quick, because it sounded to me like we're going in a direction where it's about, it's okay to throw my blackness under the bus, but don't throw my sexuality under the bus. It seems like that's where she's going.
Hey, we ain't going nowhere with that.
But
we ain't going nowhere with that.
No, my point is the fact that black women are in there, and that's okay. It's okay to get the blackness thrown under the bus, but it's not okay about the sexuality, and black women are cool with that. So this he, she, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It don't make no difference. Don't throw that white man under the bus. That's where you get the cringes from. But when you talk about throwing the black race under the bus, everybody cool with that.
Go back to the 1920s suffrage movement and the black woman arm. They've been throwing blackness under the bus. This ain't just start.
Black feminists wanted a part of the deal, and this is like an unwritten deal, but it just goes with the program. When they really went with like white women, that was a part of the deal. Like it's gonna be W1, not B1. And I don't know what they thought when they thought it was happening. But they still, this is why I always say nobody's taking more from the black woman than the white woman, and nobody's up the ass of the white woman more than the black woman. Those are both true at the same time if you look at it from a group perspective. And you don't really see you never hear black women, because I'm not saying every black woman is up a white woman's ass, but as far because there are like a minority that isn't, but you never see black women check other black women on really caping for white women.
Look at Shonda. I mean, Scandal went almost 8 seasons. Okay,
we're talking about that outside of white men, though. We're just talking about the black woman's relationship with white women.
Who became her partner in crime at the end of the series? It was a white woman.
I didn't watch that.
And they said she was throwing black men under the bus left and right.
You know,
So guys, talking.
it's a popular TV show called American Horror Story, and the season 6 was Cult, and it's interesting because fuck you if y'all mad about spoilers. It's on Netflix. Y'all should have saw it. In the last episode, basically, dude comes in there and they had this music, like this crazy white person music. It's funny. I laugh. This is when they about to do some crazy shit. It's like oh my god, dude gets on stage because the woman that was being abused or emotionally abused and throughout the season, she's like, oh my god, she got empowered, this white woman, and you know, she did some stuff to kind of, it was her art. She's on there running for Senate, running against this white dude. And they play the Hillary Clinton bullshit, kind of like that. And the white man gets up there, so you're the symbol of hope. You're the symbol of this. So if I kill you, I get up because you're the symbol that a white woman can win. A woman can win an argument. He didn't say white, but a woman can win an argument. Woman do this, and then he fires the gun at her in her face to kill her in front of everybody, to kill that hope. And then it didn't. It was no bullets in there. And then you rewind back and you see that when he was in jail, that he got in jail, the black woman, it was a fat, like a Lizzo looking chick that was the guard. The white woman basically told her about how he was with his charisma and all that, and then she was ready for it. But then the ball mic drop was when he got his head blown off on stage, and it was from a dark-skinned black woman. So it's that dirty work shit that black women are. So you see 2 black women that were basically instrumental in a white woman usurping a white man, you know. And that really, nobody paid attention to that, but that kind of stood out to me because it's kind of like white women, you know, one thing that black women don't understand is white women have to be cunning because they're in a situation where if they're not, there's consequences, versus black women don't have to develop being cunning. And so black women really underestimate a lot of the cunning nature of white women because they want to pay attention to genetics, and genetics has nothing to do with, is only potential. So that's something that stuck out to me. But anyway, let's continue this bullshit.
I internalized the way he looked at the black community too. And so we both were in our
I need y'all to get the full context of that bullshit.
To bring your full self to the relationship. Because I was in the relationship where I did not challenge my white partner on his anti-blackness.
He said, bitch, you ain't even a bitch. So what are you talking about? I accepted that, but
and instead I internalized the way he looked at the black
look
community
at his face.
And so we both were in our gated community house thinking this is what, you know, needs to happen and blah blah blah. When I realized that this man was not invested in the liberation of my community, nor my black community, nor my LGBT community, but that I was passing.
You saw that, you heard that, you heard I got.
So that means that I'm either going to be with a black man who also has been educated about his anti-blackness and about his misogyny and all those things, or I'm going to be with someone who's not black who understands that, or I'm going to be by my damn self.
It's like, you know, they're pretending. Like it's like you're pretending. It's like, and let's be clear here. If anybody that understands it, if there's a that's pro-black, that the more that the black family gets intact, the less this shit will be, the more hostile people will be to this shit. And that's another reason why a lot of people are invested in, you know, really that shit not happening, which is something else that doesn't get addressed as much as it really should. And the way that you really undermine a community is by basically agitating the women to basically do this pervasive bullshit when it comes to the matriarchal shit. But this is like a script. I mean, real and look, it ain't, you know, it's like clapping.
Now, April, I know.
See this bullshit.
I know you are happily married, but how do you think about interracial dating?
I agree with Winnie. I believe that you should date who feeds your soul. But who feeds my soul is a black man. And I'm going to tell you why. I feel like when I think about the trauma that black men have gone through, along with the trauma that a black woman has gone through, we're able to heal each other because we know each other's pain. We know our ancestors' pain. Black men need a black woman, and black women need a black man to help us be better. And because we know each other, we need each other to heal those wounds that were never really treated.
That April Mason shit. But at least she walking the walk. You know, I could work with somebody like that, because I'd be like, all right, so we need to address this, and this. if you want black love. But what y'all think about that clip?
But Edward, like that last lady, I bet you she got a man.
Huh?
Exactly.
I bet you she got a man.
She was married. She was married.
See, I know. You could tell. But see, her, I guarantee you she submit to her man. I could just tell. I can see what femininity.
Or at least she know when to pick her battles. Yeah, but I agree with you.
You know, even though she got the short hair, I can't stand the short hair dude. But femininity, you know, you could spot it a mile away. That's all this is.
Say, but no, I agree.
Don't believe what they say in public.
Oh, they BGS, that one right there, I guarantee you, she submit to her man.
Bullshit.
Well,
I can tell you that she don't. That's bullshit.
Yes,
she's a feminist. That's
the fact that she's on that show.
Yes.
The fact that she's on that
That's
show.
on that show. Yeah.
Nah, she submit to me.
Bullshit.
Yeah, she wasn't.
Is the black single? This is gonna be a good one. This is the black single motherhood one. I'm curious what the fuck they gonna say on this one. But yeah, I mean, it's like, first of all, my first commentary on that is, can you honestly tell me that that's the best representatives you have for black women? Like, that's the best. But you know, that's a script. You know how Oprah is. She's putting, like, the people that run that, they're putting up a certain script. But that is not the best representative of what black, even in the aggregate of what black women are. So you got one person's a transformer, another person that, like, okay, she's got vitiligo. And first of all, she's saying her dad was there. Her mom was basically fucking everybody. So for this shit, they're like, oh, well, you know, I'm just tired of black men, and that's why I had to hop. Okay, she said straight up, her mom was running through everybody. She was interracial community. So, which that never gets addressed. He just says, oh, but he just dated a lot of guys and tried a lot of guys. So your mom was a hoe. And
that's what I heard. That's what I heard.
You act like, oh, that's just a normal upbringing.
In Black America, it's a normal upbringing, okay? It's an everyday thing in the ghetto, all right?
I ain't never heard dudes just go fuck a woman while the baby is in the other room. I'm like, what you talking about?
Listen, I done had women while the baby's in the bed with us. Sleep.
I've seen that. Yeah.
I mean, but I always say
backsliding days though.
Well, I always say black women have adopted a whole culture, and the more you hear them talk, the more you will hear it coming out if you pay attention to it. So basically, she just admitted my mama was a hoe. She didn't even care that it was on television because in her mind, her mama not no hoe.
No,
even though she had all the men coming through.
Yep.
But she didn't even catch that.
It's not that they never done it. It's that now there's a lack of shame that goes with it.
Yeah, and then they
guys.
I mean, like, I don't understand why she didn't get remarried. It's because why? It's what you said about the milk, BGS. Why? Like,
no, it's because everybody else came through. You don't marry the woman that there's a land outside for.
She didn't want to get remarried anyway, man.
She probably didn't, but I'm just saying, if a guy's there before me and a guy there behind me, I'm not finna marry that chick. Simple as that. She said that there was multiple men running through there. So ain't no telling how much that big that crowd was for her to even say it like that. That had to be a big crowd.
Yeah, because if the kids saw it, there has, you have to multiply it by at least 3.
Yeah, especially I mean, just the kids never saw.
Yeah,
exactly. Which also speaks to it speaks to a lot, because the thing about it is, it's always they're doing the best they can and all. And what they really want to make it sound like, they make it sound like black men are not reasonable, like we have zero tolerance on things. Which the problem is the rubber band is broken. The tolerance level has been stretched out too much. That's what it is. But anyway, let's do the single motherhood one, because this one I'm curious. I ain't heard this one.
Oh, real quick before you go to that video, Edward. I think something of importance of note that the alternative lifestyle individual spoke of, the person that they were dating, basically didn't accept the plight of, I guess, blackness, or was kind of anti-black, and that goes to show okay, so this person, was in a relationship with somebody, and they, I guess, perceived them to be, or in their mind, that was a woman in their mind, and so you could be.
Dude was apparently the dude was like on some alternative lifestyle bullshit too.
Mm-hmm. But that goes to show that, right? You can be anti-ethnic group, like you could be anti-black or anti-whatever, and be with a person of that ethnicity because
shout out to Holly Berry.
Well, and the reason why is because the woman doesn't make the community. Like, you could have a community of guys and everybody can have a different ethnicity woman, but it's still a community based on what those guys are.
Yeah, they're seeing.
So that's the reason why that whole argument about men going outside and trying to make a false equivalency to what they consider to be swirling it's two totally different concepts.
Well, let me say this real quick too, because
you can't sleep. And the thing about it is not about being pro-black. Oh, well, go ahead, Roger. Go ahead. Yeah.
But I'm gonna say those people, with those the transsexuals, when the man transfers to the woman role, they copy what they view the women do. His perception or her perception, whatever to make it right, their perception of a black woman is to be a racist. That's why she was with a man that was racist and it was okay. That's the perception he had. Well, she had at that time.
And that's not the first time. You see that all that's actually something you see more often than not. You see these dudes and they have these, it's like y'all, it's almost like you all go and get these dudes that have these attitudes almost. When you look at a lot of dudes that kill black men, it's not completely abnormal or shocking to see that they with a black woman. Hernandez had a black woman. A lot of these cops be having black women. And you never hear black women address that, by the way. They never ask themselves why that is. And see, this is how you know they tolerate, because these dudes ain't just coming out the gate pulling 180s on them. They probe for stuff like that. These white guys know how to probe for what the fuck they want, Italian or whatever.
How many pictures and things that you see on the internet, especially like when there's these rallies and you have these white supremacist rallies, they always have some pictures and you'll see black women standing next to their white guys and they have on like a Confederate flag jacket or some type of Confederate flag, in their arm, in their hand. And it's like you consistently see imagery of black women in situations like that.
And to be real talk about it, a lot of these women have these same attitudes if they do, like, I'm not trying to bring up Paris again, but shit, this is the same attitude that like Paris has when she dates an African. Is like they start doing that tribalism bullshit, and they will say, "Well, what's the difference between black men?" Like, look, at the end of the day, black men are saying what the fuck is going on, and so it is not the exact same.
Man, let me say what it is, Edward. Most black women are white supremacists. Period. That's just what it is. Most black women are white supremacists. The ones with the jackets and the t-shirts, they're a little more overt with it. There's others that's a little bit more covert with it. But at the end of the day, at least 80% of them are white supremacists.
Yeah, it's a very.
That's just what it is.
They've been conditioned, so yeah, they follow the condition.
I mean, because white supremacy is an ideology. It's not a race. It's an ideology, and when you hear them talk, they say the same stuff that white supremacy. There's really no difference in their rhetoric versus if you go to a rally.
When they talk about black, exactly, and when they usually say what black men are not doing, or what about these other races of men, it's basically to say that you're not them. So my thing is, why are you even with black men? So it's very obvious because this is the best you can do.
Shout out to Tommy Curry.
Or you know what else is a white supremacist talking point? Black men are dominated. I wonder who says that.
A white supremacist.
Well, yeah, exactly. And my thing is, the same person will say that be the same person that winds up with a kid, from the other side of the fucking country. And so you got dominated by somebody that got dominated. So what does that say about your womanhood at that point? You got dominated by somebody that dominated a whole bunch of women.
She didn't get dominated. She went to a place where she could get a seed for a baby. He ain't nothing but a sperm donor.
Exactly. But at the same time, here's the thing. The thing is, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you are still if it's really that you want better, this is how you just, I'll say it this way. This is how you know you are a product of that environment. You're a product of the problem, not a product of the solution. Because if you were really a product of the solution, that you would either seek to either find better ground, or you would seek to at least fix where you are. And the problem is, you have people, when you're trying to maintain something that you know is not working, that's what I mean. That makes you a product of the problem. And see, what a lot of these guys don't understand, when they're sitting there making all these excuses, they're not saying these guys are leaving. What can we do to improve the situation, improve what needs to be sold to get it back for the betterment community? They're saying, how do we shame these dudes into an already burning house? Because they don't want to address that the shit does not work. They just cannot address that, because let's keep it real. They have no solutions. They have no solution. They know they don't have a solution. They know
they don't want to think about a solution.
Right,
that's the thing.
They're socialized. They're socialized to fall back on the same things that kept us in check before. So 20 years ago, the shaming tactic would work. Okay,
Yeah,
so they're falling back on it, but the thing is, it's not working anymore.
Yeah, because
hey guy, it's a great
black. It's the same thing with the black church. Like when you look at the black church, motherfuckers say the same shit they said 20, 30 years ago, even though black men are not in the church. They don't sit here and then act like, okay, well, this happened, so clearly that didn't work.
Yeah, I think Mike is trying to jump off. So
yeah, here's what I always use when I have a black girl trying to shame me. Oh, why are you dating these non-black girls? I always say the same thing. I am an equal opportunity employer. I always say that to them straight in the face. They're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, prove to me that you deserve to be hired. And they get mad at me. Yeah.
You know, in the black community, you're gonna be called all sorts of lame ass niggas.
Oh yeah. I have that all the time. And I'm like, listen, this is a market. And I always tell them equal opportunity, because here in England, I've got the choice. I don't have to stick with you if your attitude is shit. Literally. So I don't need to. I've got a lot of things to do. I don't want to get home or to call, why didn't you call me? Hey, I have no time for that. So you either act right, we have a conversation, or just leave it. So it's the same thing when you go to work. You've got a boss, you've got to behave in a certain way. There's a code, do things. I'm as simple as that. And then they're trying to put, oh yeah, you're macho. They're trying to shame me into, oh, you're too macho for me and you don't respect me. But yeah, okay. It is what it is. Every time. So just equal opportunity employer. That's my standard response all the time now.
Well, black women, they don't want to compete, because if they accepted competition, they'll have a whole culture that would change, because black women try to make sure there is no difference between the Michael Jordans versus regular people like ourselves when it comes to men, because it makes because if we accepted that Michael Jordan is far different than me, then we got to accept that a fat black woman is far different than a petite black woman.
You know what else though? What a lot of people, really, and subconsciously we all realize this, but we kind of overlook it because we just come to accept it. We've socialized to accept the fact that an entire economy is built around not necessarily, but pursuing the attention of the opposite sex. So just the act of pursuing, that's an economy all in itself. Men doing different things, various things to vie for a woman's attention. Men investing in dating apps, men investing in, wardrobes, things like that they think will garner a woman's attention. And so a lot of the end recipient obviously is the business owner that created that particular business opportunity. But the women obviously benefit frequently from these low yield endeavors, the lie. Men going on dates and doing these different things, thinking, okay, I actually have a chance with this woman, or just even attention itself plays a role in that woman's self-esteem. So once they realize that this may be taken away, and a lot of the liberties that they've come to enjoy at the expense of men who are pursuing them will actually go away. That's what a problem is. See, here's the thing, like when we look at like a government, right? You'll have people who will denounce the government, but they won't denounce the benefits that they yield from the government that they are so vehemently against. So they'll be like, they'll be anti-government, but They'll be getting welfare, but they'll be driving on the roads that the
Yeah,
government
Alaskans do that shit.
Yeah, when their car gets broken into, they want to get that insurance claim. So what they gonna do? They're gonna file a police report. But you're so anti-government. But see, these women are so
Yeah, a lot of
anti-men.
white conservatives. Yep.
But they'll still accept gifts from men that they're not interested in. They'll still keep men tagging around because they know at some point they may need to tap into that person's resources. And that's the reason why they don't want you leaving the community, because they understand that you are the community. So in actuality, you're not leaving the community is just moving on without them.
And here's another thing too, before I play this video, is that when I brought up Ari Lennox and, we were, when you take a woman that's a five, you gotta realize we're in California and a lot of these, Miami, I'd say Seattle a little bit, but a lot of these areas where they can have hyper competition because you got people all over the country and the world descending to these areas. Let's say, okay, you're there because you're a singer. It's like Danny DeVito being, he's an actor, he makes money, but at the end of the day, I mean, on sexual marketplace value shit, that is what that is. That's not the standard as to what women want. And now, obviously, his money and stuff can help a little bit, but with women, and I'm not saying Ari Lennox is Danny DeVito, but what I'm saying is if you're like a 6 and you are surrounded by 8s and 9s, that not only are the dudes you got dudes that they don't have enough 8s and 9s to fuck, let alone and not even the dudes that are the principal guys. We're talking about the entourage. There's not enough 8s and 9s to fuck. Then you got women that are basically getting artificial work done to make themselves that shit, or at least get involved in that. And some of it is better than others. But you get what I'm saying? The point is, this idea that you really believe that, well, I'm a singer, so I have more status because I'm actually a singer. I'm not a groupie. A dude is not necessarily seeing the difference. If a chick is a groupie and she's a lot better looking, it's not, you being a singer is not going to close that gap at all like you think it is. And it's actually a form of, really, in my opinion, emotional abuse for women really to be in that situation. It's the same thing where people will talk about Scandal and all these TV shows. As far as I'm concerned, that's emotional abuse, because the reality is, that's not reflective of what the reality on the ground is. You got white dudes that are incels, that are mainly incels because they if they were to deal with black women, they wouldn't be incels. Exactly. They could get probably a 6 or a 7. They could get an Ari Lennox easy. We're talking about dudes that are socially awkward, but not like with her singing, but like as far as look easily. But the issue is they're not doing that. So you got these women that got these expectations based on being plugged into TV and media, and it's more shows, not less shows. And then you got women like, the point is they have those expectations, and that bitterness comes, and they know they can't take it out on white people. So what they do is they'll take it out on us. And they keep on, and a lot of black men don't understand that. And a lot of these dudes that are really pro-gynocracy don't understand. A lot of that bitterness has nothing to do with what black men or black men did. But they absorb all of it and try to reflect it because they listen to anything that chick says and assuming that shit is valid.
And let me say this just to piggyback off what Super Trez was saying about industries. This is a saying that I have, and I try to teach this to every young brother so he can measure what he's really doing with a woman. And that is, women like to be liked, even by men that they don't like. Mm-hmm. That's something brothers got to keep in mind. I'm going to say it again. Women like to be liked by men, even if they don't like them.
Yeah, because they absorb that energy. That's their validation. I mean, you can't be a queen if you're not lording over somebody. Mm-hmm. And a lot of dudes don't understand that. So this is but and this is what dudes don't understand. So when you sit there because think about what these dudes say. They say you're leaving because you're lame. Okay, I'm glad for that feedback. I'm still quitting this job though. It's like saying you give somebody a promotion that they don't want. You get a promotion and it's like title only. It's a horrible ass job and you ain't getting paid for it like other people are getting paid. And then it's like, no, I don't want that job. I'm moving on. Well, you're moving on because you're not a team player. All right, thanks for that feedback. And this is supposed to stop me from quitting. How? It's crazy because it's like this is logical to a lot of dudes because everybody keeps saying it. You're leaving because you're lame. You're leaving because you're weak. And it's like, nigga, that's what a bitch would say. Like, the fuck are you talking about? That's like me saying you don't fuck fat women because you're lame, because you're weak. That's why you don't fuck fat women. You don't like Lizzo because you're lame, because you're weak. How fucking stupid did that sound?
But see, we have to stop allowing people to say that because men are choosing the best option available to them, that they're leaving. Because in actuality, like I said before, women obviously are not the community. If a white supremacist can be with a black woman openly at a white supremacist rally, obviously that black woman doesn't represent the black community. The men represent the community. So if wherever we go, the community is coming along with us. If you're not walking with us, that means that you're just simply left behind.
So yeah, guys, I've got a quick question, to the panel here. You've dated outside, our race and things. When you have a non-black girl asking you, "What's up with your sisters?" Why are they looking at me like this? What do you answer?
Oh, with that, I'd say don't worry about them. Now, if they start talking too much shit, I play the card. It's like, look, I can talk about them because because I am a part of them, so I can say they ain't shit, but you can't say they ain't shit. That's what I would say. But as far as I'll say this, in America, unless now if you're dating like a white woman, which is white women that don't really like fuck they're not like an ace of spades white, like they really fuck with black dudes like that. Latin women already know what it is. They just get quiet about it. You rarely hear that from Latin women because they already know.
I've got a lot of Indian girls asking me that question. I'm going after them.
Yeah, Indians would ask that because
they're asking me the question, man. What's up with you?
Because basically black men it's a gynocracy, and black men belong to black women. And how dare you mess with my property? The same thing that white men do with white
tell
women.
her that and see what she says. Like in fact, that's y'all. Next time, somebody ask that, tell them that shit and see what they say. That shit'll blow their fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'll report back next week, guys. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
He's probably like, cause she's a fucking bitch, yeah. I guess.
No. Basically,
that's what Israelis will say.
How dare you? How dare you? You belong to the black women collective. So how dare you date outside your race? And how dare you mess with my property?
You want to know a female to give black women a run for their money on the bullshit? Israeli women. Israeli women, if they can put on a smile, but you catch them in they trust me. They
know
go
about
that. They're extremely aggressive. They're probably as aggressive or more aggressive than black women.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, and I'm not talking about Jewish women because Jewish women have their own thing too. But Israeli women, like
Israeli,
I thought the Israeli dudes are front. But no, she's a fucking cunt, and I'm like, whoa, because they were
savages.
Because they say like the thing, like y'all think y'all. But see, here's the thing. Even with that being said, they're not necessarily gynocratic. Their aggressive is not driven from gyno because the Israelis ain't putting up with that shit.
Yes, yes, they do. Oh yes.
Well, you get what I'm saying though. It's not from a like the Israel is a gynocracy or some shit. No. It's different, and that's why when I say it's different, it's like you get what I'm saying though. It's not no like Israel. You get what I'm saying.
It's getting to be that way. Let's put it that way because there's been videos and articles talk about the attitudes of Israeli women where they've abused Israeli guys and gotten away with it.
Yeah, don't think Gal Gadot is like
there's an actual.
Gal Gadot is not the representative of how Israeli women get down. I just want to put that out there.
I'm talking about where they can actually beat you up. They can do all kinds of stuff and ruin your life and all that kind of stuff, and nothing's done about it because they're protected. They're extremely protected.
Well, there's an actual YouTuber, Middle Eastern guy, and he has kind of long hair too. I don't know. I can't remember what his actual screen name is, but he's basically, I don't know if he actually is permanently out there in the Middle East, but like all the streams that I've seen are of him in the Middle East, but like more in a more urban area of the Middle East where it's like kind of developed, and he's basically having the same complaints that you hear men in the United States having. He's saying like, women are divorce raping in that country. I forgot what country it is, but he's saying that women are divorce raping guys, marrying guys and taking everything from them. And it's like basically
that divorce rape is that, black men, that's called child support. That's called everything. But go ahead.
Oh, that was it. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting term, divorce rate. Like that tells me so much. If I hear somebody use that, that's like because they got what's the divorce corp, which I would tell any brother to look at that documentary, because you see how white dudes be getting taken. You know they getting us, but divorce rate, that's more like white, like international problems. If you got real money to do that. By the way, that's what Janet Jackson tried to do with dude. 5 days after that damn 5 years, she was out.
No, that's because they had a prenup about that. So she got what she was supposed to get. She didn't get anything more than what was already
right. Same thing
written up.
Yeah, it's the same thing. There's Chris Rock. It's all the same story. We stay married for 20 years. Unless we stay married for this 20 years, then this prenup count. Well, okay, I'm gonna go right past that 20 years, so I can't say it was just about the 20 years. Same, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with all these rich people who end up getting the women go right along that line. Sometimes they'll go a little bit further past the line because women care about their image and they don't want to say, no, I ain't divorced him just because it happened to be the timeline was over. I stayed with him an extra year after that.
And I'm about to play this video, but the last thing I will say on this is one of the biggest myths that gets put out there is that your alpha maleness, if you put a woman in a situation where, and I'm talking about a situation where she's conditioned to take advantage of the resources to get what the fuck she wants. But I talk about women that are not conditioned with that. So if they're conditioned, like for instance, if you talk about somebody in captivity and you remove the cage, they're not necessarily gonna all of a sudden say they're free. They were born and raised in captivity. I'm like, all right, what the fuck with the cage? Go on, when cage? You see what I'm saying? So if you deal with somebody that's conditioned to be in the wild, we'll say that. So, and your manhood, and we're not talking about violence. We're just talking about your manhood is not going to bring that woman to heel unless it's something that she's getting out of it from you. Like for instance, when you talk to sex, stuff like that. This is why when dudes always talk about, like, nobody is preaching against self-improvement, but don't sit here and then use self-improvement as, well, this woman reacts to you because of self-improvement, and then you have no answer when I say, okay, if it was all about that, then what's with these kids? They're not reflective of self-improvement. But my main point is, don't say that it's because your lack of manhood as to why she's acting the way it is. I'm not saying that may not be, but that dude's going to figure that out if that's constantly happening over a variety of different women. But as far as that deflection, that's a deflection that always gets used. And what Pharaoh brought up, Tony Maceo, dudes are always using that. You're lame, you're this, you're that. Well, if it's a cultural incompatibility, because that's what I interpret that lame shit to mean, then dudes need to be with somebody they're more culturally compatible with. But see, they never frame it that way. They frame it as you're less than, and that woman can't help but to react in a bitch way to your less than-ness.
Everybody gets got, man. It doesn't matter. Everybody gets got. You might have a little bit more tools that she control her emotions and what she does, but the thing is, it's just a little bit more. Everybody gets got. I don't care who you are.
And that's what Charles, and shout out to Charles Faulkner. I definitely have the link if you want to come up. But he said, how do you deal with a woman that doesn't respect you? And he said, you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
get rid of it.
In other words, SYSBM. What do you think the whole movement is about?
Yeah, because here's the thing. That's why because people want to make it like, and I said this before you got on, BG, they want to make it like it's interracial dating 2.0. No, it's not.
Who cares? At the end of the day, who cares?
But my point is, when they say you don't, that does not necessarily mean, like, people can do what they want. I'm not telling what they should do, but dudes can be like, I'm not like, you could be SYSBM if you used to date fat women and say, I'm no longer dating fat women. You just SYSBM
if it was a interracial dating movement, at the end of the day, if you want to keep your men, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah,
right,
well,
you got to compete.
But what I'm saying, though, is when you look at dudes getting passports, and that's something, shout out to Charles Holler, RIP, again, it's never been, and I'm not even saying that because I'm trying to convince anybody anything. I'm just saying that concept of you don't, I wasn't even framing that for SYSBM. I was, even if you date mostly black women, like I do, or like Charles does, and let me put the link in here so he can pop on if he wants to, because I mentioned his name. But yes, you should always self-improve. But you don't self-improve and then say, well, I'm going to self-improve because, and take, you leave all options on the table. That's what I'm saying. And part of the issue is with a lot of people is you need to maybe deal with a different type of culture. And a lot of people don't want to fight it. They say, well, there's nothing wrong with the culture. It's just your lane. And I'm
No,
like,
well, come on now. Yeah, everybody. Okay, all you had to do is look at the stats. If all black boys were top of their class, they're all doing well, the women were on point, they're raising good kids, the community's doing well, you could say that, but you can't.
What see, my thing is see, I'm from Chicago, right? And I grew up watching Michael Jordan play ball. If you're gonna tell me Michael Jordan is a lame, I get it. Or if you're gonna tell me his manhood can make a woman do X, Y, and Z, I get it. But at the end of the day, Michael Jordan was married to a woman named Juanita. If everything was just about his manhood and about how alpha he is, Juanita would have just accepted anything that man was giving him.
Yeah.
She didn't accept it. Now, if Michael Jordan can't get a woman to act the way he wants to, and he's over 6 feet, he's well over $1 million.
Obama.
He's arguably the greatest player to ever play the game, which means he's the top in his industry of all time, is the argument. If he got all that going for him and a woman ain't gonna do it just because he Michael Jordan, then you can't really tell somebody else a woman's character is gonna be based on what I do as a man. A woman's character is a woman's character. How
many black male celebrities have issues with their black women?
There's plenty of them, as far as I know.
I mean, the thing is, it's harder to find out the ones that don't than the ones that do.
Yeah. So my whole thing is, if Steph Curry got to worry about his woman saying crazy stuff, that I'm supposed to assume that if I date a woman, she ain't gonna never say something crazy to me, but it's about me if she say something crazy. No, it's about her. She has her own character. She was who she was when I met her, and my job is only to see if her character is good enough to stay with me. That's it. Period. It ain't about how she views me. She gonna act the way she acts because that's who she is. Point blank, period. And any man that ain't smart enough to figure that out, you are a really dumb man. I'm sorry, you're a really dumb guy.
That stuff is built into the culture. I don't care whether they're 100 octane baller chick. I don't care how much money they earn. I don't care who you are. That stuff is built into the culture.
And where they leave as well.
I've seen Michelle Obama, who was married to the president of the fucking United States, had the same fucking attitude towards him that every black woman that so-called Pookie and Ray Ray in the ghettos of Chicago. Okay, same fucking attitude.
Do not act like that, Michelle. And that's another thing. People will act like, she settled for him because you look at these jokes talking about, well, he was this, he was that, and you realize she's like a couple years older and all of that. Man, Michelle is a millionaire. Because they said Obama was worth 40. I mean, Michelle's probably gonna get more money than him based on like the none of that would have been possible without all this like validation she's getting, even from like white women, let alone black. She just got like Woman of the Year. Like none of that would have been possible without what Obama did at all. She was not capable of doing that on her own at all.
Well, she didn't believe that she said she didn't believe he was capable of doing it, much less her.
And Obama was at the top of his industry as well.
All I'm saying is, I'm not even talking about running for president. I'm talking about the rewards that she gets to reap after it, like being this kind of next Oprah. And look, I'm giving her credit. She's able to capitalize on it. Everybody is not able to capitalize on a situation when they put them in. And I give her credit because she had to, be a first lady, So I'm not taking that away from her. But what I'm saying is your opportunity to be in that position to even show that was not possible based on what you did up to that point, because you would have just been a lawyer. You've been like the best that she could have hoped for would be like, what's the chick? Monique Presley. She could have been like that. If that, on TV. And that's not shaming her, but it's saying that, dudes can put you at a level to shine and see. Unfortunately, women don't see that. This is why a lot of women get mad after the fact when they see these dudes are coming up, because their mothers didn't teach them to spot that. And part of that negativity to black men really fucks them up at the end of the day. But anyway, let me play this other clip. I know Clutch is on here. Mike, I might have to swap you. I might have to swap you out.
Yeah, no problem, guys.
And
I'll get off.
Yeah, and I mean that, man. A lot of y'all dudes from the UK, I mean, shit, y'all got access to electronics just like we do. And I see enough white boys in the UK doing shit in a lot of different stuff as far as keeping enough to know y'all can do it. Y'all need to start, because black men don't know. Black men don't know what the chicks y'all looking like, whether they're strag, whether they're we just know based on, they don't know half these motherfuckers from the UK as far as in Hollywood.
They get shamed by their black mothers, which is why they don't come out a lot and talk.
Here's the thing: the UK is 5 years behind the US. What you're seeing over there, we got the same thing 5 years later. So
Okay.
basically, I'm learning, and then I'm actually applying in 5 years' time.
Okay.
Well, good luck, because hell is coming.
Winter is coming.
We got Boris Johnson now, right?
Winter
What did I tell you?
The winter is coming.
Yeah,
It is.
They still in the Obama era.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. When passport broke, though, it'll be a lot of dudes making they hat in the UK, and then all they got to do is be better than this black chick, especially if you're dealing with the mixed
Man,
ones.
Guys in the US, you'll be happy here. I'm telling you, London, Birmingham, Manchester.
Black dudes in the UK give black women hell, man. They give them hell. I have to say that they give them hell.
Totally. Okay, guys.
Yeah,
okay, speak to you later, guys. Eh? Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, I thought
I'm still here.
Everybody got quiet. I was like, fuck.
Oh, no,
everybody. I killed this shit.
Who's trying to have your show? Run your show.
All right, and I got you, Meech, but you gotta wait a second. Oh,
if somebody want to get in, I'll drop off, Edward.
Yeah. Super Triz, don't worry about it, because you know what? I got to make a run anyway, so I just drop off while I make that run. I may jump back on later on.
All right.
So,
I mean, I ain't doing 8 hours. Like, I want to get these videos and
I'll drop off. So you have 2 slots, Edward. I'll drop off. Just drop me off, Edward.
All right. Okay. All right, we got Meech. All right, I'll let y'all jump in. Let me
play the video.
Play this. Yeah, we about to get in. I mean, y'all missed the interracial ones, so we gonna go straight to this. I'm curious what they'll say.
Bad rap. And they've been used as political punch bags. Like we are.
Hold on, let's see. Is this fucking tier bullshit?
I was a political commentator. Single moms get a bad rap. And they've been used as political punch bags. Like we are just the dredge of the United States. I was married to a very wealthy man. I got a divorce, walked away from $1 million.
I don't want to. I'm not going to cut this off constantly. But where the fuck do you hear single mothers get a bad rap in the mainstream media? I don't see that shit or hear that shit.
I ain't never seen that. All I've seen on the mainstream media is presents and rewards. You a single mother? Here's the new house.
In white America, they do get shamed, or they still do. In white
I
America.
mean, in white America, but I'm talking about like in the media where they're talking about black single moms, or they talking about all women.
Who do black women, especially educated black women, take their cues from?
Oh my God! All right, that makes sense. Let's continue.
Lifestyle in South Florida, because that was the best thing to give to my son, was a better life, not with him. It just sometimes bothers me how.
What did she just say? I want to hear that shit again.
A very wealthy man. I got a divorce, walked away from $1 million lifestyle in South Florida, because that was the best thing to give to my son, was a better life, not with him. Pause it. All
right, you can go, Charles.
Pause it. See, this is the shit that I tell a lot of dudes that I really look at them strange for. Why do y'all pay these bitches any fucking mind? Obviously, she's out of her goddamn mind. I walked away from $1 million lifestyle. No, you're stupid.
Charles. It's for the
I know what it's for, but it's like let me finish. All right. This is the reason why I don't listen to none of these bitches anymore. Like I have to stop listening to these bitches for years, and I'm like, oh, I'm high maintenance. Sure you are. I'm this. Sure you are. I'm that. Sure you are. You walked away because you just you think it sounds so good for everybody to hear. Tell somebody with half a fucking brain and a fucking chromosome that's not related, be like, you gotta be the dumbest nigga in captivity. She literally walked away from a stop. Huh?
Okay, I can tell you why. Why we play this stuff. we play this stuff and why we listen to women like this, because most people and most men will not believe it until they hear it come out of a woman's mouth.
And
That's
I'm looking, yeah, they're that because they are that dumb. And I'm looking at it too to see how the audience react. You know, they clap. Because I mean, I'm looking at this chick and I'm like, you had access to a millionaire in South Florida. What the fuck was he doing? Like, seriously? Because she make it like she triggered the door. And she making it like she said she walked away from $1 million lifestyle. I call bullshit on that because you really telling me you walked away? Because I give her respect if she walked away.
She got put out. I mean, my first question is how much did she walk away with? That's my very first question.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you walked away until you tell me how much you walked away with.
Not what she's getting, what she would get with him. She got put out.
Yeah, but
that's
she
what it
still
was. She got put out.
She probably walked away with a nice little chunk of change.
She got walked out with a nice chunk of change, but she'll burn that shit out like a fucking light bulb.
No, she might, but everything's about the moment for them. So my thing is, did you walk away, but you got a $5 million on the way out the door? Don't try to convince me that it was about you and your son. It was about you getting that $5 million to leave.
But you got the son.
And I'm like, is that his son? Or that's another question, because then that's child support. But go ahead, Charles.
You talking about you doing what's best for your son. No, you're not, because you don't even know how to be a man. So you telling me you know what's best for your son and you know how to raise a man.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit.
But let's continue. Let's continue.
How sometimes single moms just catch such a bad rap.
Yeah.
Like we are just out here just
Oh,
willy-nilly having babies with anybody just because we don't have anything else better to do. I know a lot of people that are married that are single moms. Because people
How the fuck are you married? You're single.
Oh, it's what Michelle Obama thing. That's what Michelle Obama said.
Yeah. And no, that's where the clapping started. They said, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay.
That's all this stuff. They also let you know how they think.
Yo, I swear, this dude, he say one more thing. He say one wrong thing. He'll be off of this fucking head, man. He's a hostage.
Man, I wish I was doing the interview.
No, they wouldn't let you on. You get kicked out. You would even
I'd
get
be like, you a goddamn lie.
They make
And
sure
that's
they know
exactly why you can't do
That's why
anything.
you're not doing the interview.
Yeah.
You a goddamn like you gotta be the dumbest. I mean the dumbest motherfucker that walked the earth. And I've seen some dumb motherfuckers that walk this planet. Go ahead, Evan.
I mean, I ain't even trying to play. I ain't trying, but she don't even got weave that's really reflective of $1 million lifestyle, by the way. But whatever.
She could be lying.
who are married to very wealthy men.
This is she gonna have a channel talking about how to secure the bag. This is the secure the bag.
Serious. I have a lot of friends who are married to very wealthy men.
She said she got friends that's married to very wealthy men, so they running back. So
because that's the class that they're in. So it has more to do with classism. So you're gonna circulate amongst your class. So she probably does. If she's married to a wealthy man, hopefully he was black. The thing is, they're gonna circulate in the particular class.
Oh, you know he had to be black, because if he wasn't, you know how they don't leave white men.
Okay.
No, I mean, I'm very serious. I have a lot of friends
No,
who are
you're
married
very
to
stupid.
very wealthy men, and they're married to the lifestyle.
You're married
They
to the
think that
lifestyle.
the baby is going to save the marriage.
Mhm.
Babies don't save marriage; they just prolong bad marriages. Everyone in this room wanted to grow up and be a mother. Some of you did. No one wants to grow up and be a single mom.
Bullshit.
You're not on your knees as a little girl saying, "I want to grow up and be a single mom." No.
My name is Lisa. I have, I think, a unique experience. I have 3 sets of children. They range from 35 to 11. My children all have separate fathers.
Nah, you a fucking all-star. That's what that shit is.
They're not even ashamed of it anymore.
Yeah, she's regular. She thinks she's unique, but she's regular.
This ain't even group. This is fucking church right here. This ain't even group. Like, well, it's got to anyway. Let's
I
go.
have been very fortunate that with all 4 of the children and the 3 fathers, they have partnered.
3 fathers.
All right,
How
to
the fuck is that?
be fair, my brother. Like, yeah, all right, we'll see.
Every step of the way.
A lot of people often have said that being divorced is actually made.
Hold on, let
They
me.
have partnered with me every step of
Notice how they have partnered with her, but
we all have separate
She got that Erica Mike
I have been very fortunate that with all 4 of the children and the 3 fathers, they have partnered with me every step of the way.
A lot of people often.
I will give her. I will say this in the fucked up situation. This means she's probably smart enough to know, I'm not gonna put up barriers in these dudes, So she's probably better than some of the rest of this bullshit.
Edward, fuck all that.
Why? Well, she probably is better. That she's not that bitter divorce.
Better. I mean, she just glamorized her hoarding.
She gets a D-, a D+.
Right.
Yeah, she gets that's the problem. She gets too much D.
Parenting more difficult. Has that been your experience?
It's made
That's the same bitch you take on a date.
Wait, say that again so that people hear.
It's made it better for me. I mean,
Being divorced.
Because I still get to explore things that
Hold on, being divorced is better for this bitch.
Because she's a whore.
She a good saleswoman. That's what that shit is. She know who to target. She's a good marketer. She knows who to target and how to get them.
Yeah, and plus she probably if she's in a certain area, she probably got money from all of them. So she came out ahead.
I bet you her little body took harder hits than Ronnie Lott and Ray Lewis.
It probably did, but she's probably getting 3 nice fat child support checks from 3 different guys.
And it sounds like they cool with it.
Wait, say that again so that people hear.
It's made it better for me. I mean,
Being divorced.
Because I still get to explore things that are important to me. I
Mhm.
now have 50% of my time free to focus on things that are important to me. If I was a full-time mom, I couldn't do that.
They laughing. They like this fucker here. They like, yes.
You know what? Look at the selfish statement she made. See, this is the problem. You didn't spend your time to want to be a mother to your kids. You worried about being a whore, you fucking lifestyle-driven motherfucker.
And these are dudes that got money. So this ain't like she burdened with she gotta work and all this bullshit. And it's just how she sound, man. Like she I guess these hey, they need to take notes.
Until you know them in person, you don't know. You really don't get it. I know chicks like this in person.
Oh, I know them too.
Yeah. So you know.
Now have 50% of my time free to focus on things that are important to me. If I was a full-time mom, I couldn't do that. I would be on the soccer field every weekend. I would be at basketball lessons and tutoring sessions. But because
she probably got no balls bounced off her face to the circus.
Now, what's crazy is I haven't seen this, and Charles spoke specifically to the mother with spending time with the kids, and that is literally what the fuck she just said. So for y'all to act like motherfuckers can't call balls and strikes,
yeah, we know balls. She gets a lot of them bounced off her face like a circus seal.
All I know is she just made it clear that being a full-time mother was not a priority. That's what she just clearly said.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff is just to escape the mama's house.
And this is exactly
and for their lifestyle.
And this is exactly what I said too when I said that she's smart enough to recognize why would you she did get married, so why would you sit here and just get bitter, and that's gonna get in the way of the actual life energy to be call it.
Let me tell you this shit. I'm tired of motherfuckers giving bitches credit just because they got married. That's like giving motherfuckers credit to going to school just because they can write their name. No. A lot of this shit, they just want to be married. They don't want to deal with the marriage.
I say that all the time, and there's a certain class of women, they want to get married, then have the kids, and get the divorce because they don't want to have that tag of being a baby mama put on them.
This is the reason why last time I spoke to you, Edward, when I said, why don't these men, when you said, well, Charles, you're the exception. Niggas need to start being exceptional. When you do the same shit and spend time and wonder about your goddamn time, fuck a bitch. I'll say that straight up. Fuck a bitch. Too many niggas play pussy politics. Fuck a bitch. If you ain't doing shit to your life goals and your life dreams, you deserve to be a sucker nigga. Because if you're gonna look at this, eventually you're gonna have to count the fucking children and count the pussy mileage, and be like, fuck, I get it out of this.
Yeah, to be fair, the comments I'm reading, these chicks are checking these chicks, so that, but as you can, so anyway,
they're not checking them.
I just wanted to say, you said that
nobody decides that they want to be a single mom. But for me, some of us, that's just not true.
Oh shit.
I didn't decide to be a single mom. I didn't decide to be a mom at all. And I needed to hear it's time to stop. I needed to hear pat you on the head, your legs fly open. I needed to hear close them. I needed to hear that.
But your mom was a hoe, so you were.
Subsequent pregnancy was a real issue. I'd never heard of that. I needed commentators. I needed Healthy Start. I needed people, places, things to say, hey, because
I needed you bitches to say this is not what the fuck it's supposed to be, goddammit.
Anyway.
I didn't choose to be a mom. I said thank you, and a baby was a result. I said, I need somewhere to be tonight. You understand? While I chose to have those babies.
Notice how they said, she telling too much truth. She's fucking up.
Cut the mic.
I didn't choose to be a mom. I said thank you, and a baby was a result. I said
all this bullshit they clap to. See, she's saying too much real shit.
I need somewhere to be tonight. You understand? While I chose to have those babies after becoming pregnant.
Hold on.
I choose to be a mom. I said thank you, and a baby was a result. I said I need somewhere to be tonight. You understand? While I chose to have those babies after becoming pregnant, I didn't necessarily understand the choice that I was making getting to it. I know sex led to babies, but I didn't think this thank you, I need to stay here, was going to lead to that. You understand what I mean? I didn't think that some of the things that I needed to survive were going to lead to that. And so for those women who looked at me sideways when I had one in a stroller and one on my back, it took me quite a many years.
Notice how she said the women that looked at her sideways
to get it. But understanding what subsequent pregnancy is and continuing to hear that this does not have to be my choice, that this does not have to be my circumstance. I don't have to place myself in situations where this is going to be my end result. Some of us need that. Everybody, some of us, experiences our teacher, and we're all different. I just don't want to silence those complaints from the other end because somebody heard.
Cut her mic.
Oh yeah, look, that's it.
She still blamed the men though, because she said I had subsequent pregnancy. She had like sex had nothing to do with anything that happened.
No, she didn't blame the men at all. She blamed herself.
She said that, yeah, but at the end of the day, that won a baby shit. I get it. She's saying what
she wanted dick.
Yeah,
she wanted dick.
How they were
she implied it without saying it.
The best y'all we gonna get on Oprah.
That's the same shit I told somebody when I was working the desk. One, well, you know how these men can trick you. I'm like, bitch, were you raped? No. You were a willing participant, correct? Yes. But don't feed me no bullshit like that over your life again. Same thing I tell the niggas. You shot up the club like a Florida fucking crazy man, right? Well, yeah, don't give me that bullshit.
That tells you like the way that what I would like women to like talk about shit, the way that they responded to what she was saying, some of the heartfelt shit that she was saying, that tells you a lot about that tells you a lot, because they really they did not like what she was talking about. They really didn't. All these videos, these couple videos I done played, it ain't even none of that. When she say some real shit, talk about where were you, they don't want to hear that shit. And it just goes to show you how deep the programming is. All right, this is gonna be a fun one. This is gonna be challenges in dating black men. So this is gonna be funny as fuck. So let's see. They got I want to hear this one. I want to hear that bullshit. So let's see. Now we got a female host. You already know it's man, he told that nigga, look at it. He told that nigga sit the fuck down.
When I think about black men and dating in general, I think about their preferences, and sometimes I don't feel like they're always checking for us.
Hello.
So when I think specifically of a well-known celebrity who has been highly publicized for beating Black women, but when I think about what his recent comments were about the hair of Black women and who he would date based on her hair texture, it infuriated me thinking that, well, that one who is a role model for a lot of Black men is not checking for us. He's making it seem like there's something wrong with having the one.
But do you realize you said that one? That could be for any
but
race.
that's not just
it's
him.
So remember, this is from the keep in mind, this is from the interracial dating segment. This is that panel.
Well, my thing is, look at her hair, and she just said what she said. Look at her hair right now. This makes no sense. How can
That
you be
bitch got
against
infinity wings.
She's solid. I mean, they're like, bitch, take that out your head. Fuck.
Yeah, they were clapping when they talked about choice. for them,
Well, guess what? If she got 4 more colors, she can control the universe with the gauntlet.
because they don't see it. They're in their bubble of positivity.
And then the motherfucker is talking the most shit.
It's not just publicized for beating Black women. But when I think about what his recent comments were about
who the fuck is famous and is out here is known they beat Black women.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown hit one chick.
Oh, really?
Brown. Yeah, Chris Brown.
That is.
That's who she's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, but he hit one. He got into it with one chick, not beating her. But he don't have no trail of women behind him.
Okay, let me ask you a question, right? Because I hate when people talk about cases and don't talk about the whole thing. If you're driving down the road and a bitch hits you in the face and grab your nuts, what are you gonna do to get off your nuts?
Especially they're going like 80, 90. They were going fast.
And then she takes the keys right while y'all driving, and she fucking throws them out the window. See, people don't tell the whole truth. Chris Brown was actually taken up for her, which was stupid, by the way. So when you read the actual case of what happened, Rihanna should have been in jail and locked up.
Well, yeah, but if you're a celebrity, you got to get out of the car and call Uber.
Of Black women and who he would date based on her hair texture, it infuriated me thinking that, well, that one who is a role model.
Not a role model for a lot of Black men. What the fuck are you talking about?
For a lot of Black men is not checking for us. He's making it seem like there's something wrong with having the one.
But do you realize you said that one? That could be for any
but
race.
that's not just
it's
him.
that one.
It's not just him. Within the industry, they are fetishizing mixed women.
They do.
Okay.
There you go.
Fetishize mixed men.
This is you take that to the white man issue. That shit ain't got nothing to do with Black men. So again, this is not even a Black. So what does this have to do with challenges in dating Black men? Because Black men are saying your fucking attitude. But anyway, go ahead. Let's go ahead.
They do. They do.
And notice how she it looks. My bad. Look at this transformer. As much shit as they are talking, like for fucking real. Like they're the main one.
Hold on.
Yes, well, but just if you have any sort of exotic, and that's the problem.
You're right.
That's what you're talking about.
They don't choose me. They don't choose me.
All the way back there.
Let's talk about the real problem. Pause it. Go back to that transgender's voice and that face. It's a goddamn shame that you can have a fucking transformer and look damn near face to face for one of these motherfuckers.
And the fact that they would even, like, you don't hear no ahs and oohs with that shit.
It's not just
it's
him.
that one.
It's not
just him. Within the industry, they are fetishizing mixed women.
They do.
For
sure.
They do. Well, but just if you have any sort of exotic, and that's the problem.
You're right.
That's what you're talking about.
You're absolutely right.
I'm going to go all the way back there.
I grew up in a family that I was too dark.
Play the violins. I was key the violins.
Here's the lies. She's not gonna watch. I'm telling you right now, and I ain't even seen it. She ain't gonna talk about the women.
Every day I had to fight for more.
It's too dark, but then at the same time, my grandfather was a white man. But as I grew up, weren't interested in me. White men were attracted to me, okay? But my attraction was always a Black man. That's what I want in my life, okay? The Black man,
Here go the Rashida Schroeder bullshit.
Well, maybe she didn't look like a retired boxer. She was get a black man.
Yeah,
I don't have to try. I can just be.
Oh God!
That's what she said. She don't want to try. I would like nah, nigga, you lame ass nigga, self-improve.
Self-improve you. Hey, you ain't got no swag. Shit.
So I'm a self-proclaimed comic book fucking reader, collector, and all kinds of shit. I dare a motherfucker say I'm not styling a profile with.
Dominated.
Oh my God!
We want to talk about that bird. Okay.
No, we don't want to talk about her. That's just chiming in.
No. I ain't out here to roast. I'm just like, with the saying, it's just dating black men. They ain't even talk about dating black men. See, they go, I'm just upset that black men don't men. Keep in mind,
that bitch look like Cicely Tyson.
Yeah. So what do you think, Clutch? I know you ain't talk. Why cue the next one up?
I'm serious.
Man, you all want to save the community for this shit?
It's all right.
Yeah. What took you guys so long? What the fuck? I've been saying this since I got on YouTube. But it's whatever. Better late than never. Shit.
Let me see. Let's bring this on. You know how it is, you light skinned nigga. Yeah, I got called a buttermilk nigga the other day.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Yes.
See, this is the biggest problem I have.
OG, Speed. He got mad as fuck. Talking about LAR, you make videos about pimps and hoes. I said, oh, this nigga just mad at this point. I can't take that shit.
About pimps and hoes. Okay.
Shit. He did apologize. Talking about him, even though he got a video where he got our names under if you go to his channel. And it's on his channel. You got LAR is pimp and hoe nigga. I'm buttermilk nigga. I'm like, all right, you're mad. Okay. You're mad. We was upset because but it is what it is.
Oh, all right.
I thought you apologized for all that.
Oh no, I made a joke of it because I was like, dude, at the end of the day, man, if this is what kills me about that shit, I'm gonna say that and I'm gonna leave it alone. When people are in the Nation of Islam, and it's like if Farrakhan and Muhammad came in there, you motherfuckers will stand attention more than a goddamn Fast and the Soldier would. But y'all got this like angst when it comes to light skin. And let me be clear here. You got motherfuckers like Angel Ramirez, where God, no, that's all I got to say. They make us all look bad. I swear that nigga is the walking stereotype. Like, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, anytime you want to make a video, you want to talk hella shit about light skinned people, just put that nigga as the thumbnail. and you communicate all the stereotypes and without saying shit. They know what time it is. Okay. If you've seen his What's the difference
between Angel Ramirez and Derek Jackson, dude?
Oh, that's the tag. Oh, they should do a video. Look, I would love to see Derek Jackson, Angel Ramirez, April Mason. They have a panel like this, talk about what's really going on with the internet to try to frame that shit. Throw in Cynthia G because Cynthia G can't control her bullshit. That's our problem. You need somebody that can control their bullshit. But anyway, let's play the church one. This is a quick one too. I'm just curious what they're gonna say about the church. So let's play that.
Church people still doing that?
The church, the building is not helpful, but the church within me is helpful.
That's the most fucked up part about the church. What the fuck you talking about? The church and you.
What you mean is God. When you go to church, you're supposed to be a representative of God.
Oh, I know what
a lot of people that go to church ain't that.
I know what she believes she means, but
I also decided that I had to control my thoughts, I had to control my words, and I had to control my actions. And that's what's going to take me to where I want to go. I also identified myself. Who am I? And who is it that I want to be? Once you understand that, everything that you need is inside of you. You don't have to look outside.
We put up with too much particularly from male preachers in pulpits who stand up in the church and tell us we ain't got nobody.
Bitch, you mad because you ain't got shows. That's what that is. You ain't in
No,
the
she mad because she's as big as the house of God.
like you, yeah, you know, they didn't clown you when they had that Friday, you know, barbecue. They already know what time it is. Stop it.
Because of all the stuff that's wrong with us, who tell us to be celibate. Damn.
Notice who they got representing on this panel.
And
I mean, I bet you that chick was screaming for help.
Stand up in the church and tell us we ain't got no. Particularly from male preachers in pulpits who stand up in the church and tell us we ain't got nobody because of all the stuff that's wrong with us, who tell us to be celibate. They ain't celibate. And many of them married and got a lot of side chicks, and that's just regular. If black women ever got together and said, look, you're not going to keep on preaching this foolishness, withhold tithes for a month. Get 20 to 50 women in your church to withhold tithes for a month. The theology would...
The problem is she's not understanding, and I would tell her this to be constructive. I was like, you look to your left and your right, the majority of women are on the program. Mm-hmm. These guys know how to pimp the group. So you come on, they're gonna look at you and be like, you already know why she's mad. And they will believe it. Like they're not going, what the fuck you talking about? This is the woman's house of God. Like y'all act like she anyway.
Change immediately. We need to own that we go and we sit up under folk who teach us a bunch of stuff that actually isn't about our living and our thriving.
How the fuck somebody like her gonna teach you about some goddamn living? What she need to do is hold back about 20, 40 pounds a month and see what God says to her.
They be like, I want to do a sermon about gluttony.
Man, I mean, nobody took that shit about to pop off like bullets.
Yeah, nobody took her seriously. At the end of the day, they looked at her, saw how big she was, and it's just the reality that when it comes to women, how big you are is gonna sometime be determined on how much they're gonna respect what you say. And she's just too big to give a message that people can get behind. She's too big for it.
Man, she's so goddamn big. She gotta go outside the sink, man. God dang. Big motherfucker.
I'm excited to give you an update about our own YouTube channel. So here's just a taste of.
Started about Oprah, man. Fuck. I'm glad a lot of people starting to come to realize how full of shit Oprah is.
They always knew how full of shit Oprah was. They need to start to.
Like what happened with Oprah? I was like, Oprah always been.
No, she always been that way. The younger folks have forgotten. That's all.
I never said this, but I got hit when I was a kid because I threw Color Purple away.
Yeah, you should have got your ass beat, man.
Yeah, like the purple.
Throw away the Bible, man. You should have got your ass beat.
We had that VHS tape. We had Star Wars.
Yeah. You're lucky. You're still alive.
I saw that shit. I saw like 20 minutes, and I thought garbage. They were.
Hey, you know what? You know, when it first came out, the first week, I took my grandmother to see it, and she's raised in Louisiana. She loved the Color Purple, so it's a generation. It's not even a generational thing, man. This has been around a long time.
They said Kathleen Kennedy helped produce that movie.
I believe, yeah.
Who helped produce that movie? That piece of trash. I got subjected to it like one time as a kid, and after that though, I can at least say my family was not on that. We saw it one time because it was a big deal, and Oprah and Whoopi was in and all that. Mm-hmm. After we watched that, we threw that trash out.
It's like they got the most unattractive black women in the world in one whole movie just to brag about it.
Well, they had to make it look credible. Okay.
Like, god damn. Like, I mean, it looked like them bitches went 20 rounds or something, like 8-fist boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
All right, let's deal with this. We got to do the colorism shit. We got to do the colorism shit.
A phone plan with Google.
I bet you Google Fi is a piece of shit.
Text as low as $45 per line. High-speed data and text.
You're not really saving any money by going Google Fi.
Is colorism?
Huh?
You're not really saving any money going Google Fi.
Oh, you about to get the video flag for saying that?
Oh, okay.
Kim, what do you think about that? Do you think colorism still a problem?
Oh, for all the motherfuckers talking about, I ain't never heard nobody say colorism is an issue. You get these dumb niggas. I don't hear that in real life. Yeah, everybody offline listen to Oprah. So you see, let's do it one more time.
What do you think about
that?
Colorism still a problem? Kim, what do you think about that? Do you think colorism?
Oh God, they got this chick on here. Oh shit, and Monica. Oh shit.
Oh, they got the dizziest bitch they could find.
The potential vice president. If Biden do that shit, you know what? Fuck it. I will vote for Trump. I will, and I'll make my younger brother do it too.
I think it is still a problem. I think it's getting better, much better. But it's
How you think it's a problem? Like this is some funny shit. But go ahead.
among us. You know, that's the.
Oh, who is us?
And it is, and that becomes from the very
Like, who
beginning.
the fuck's dating you?
When we had the light-skinned people in the house, and the darker you are, the further you are in the field.
That history
So
lesson.
yeah, that was ingrained in us. So we're not that many generations away. I think it's getting better now. Like the sister with no hair, and this one right here, dark chocolate, and you see all these beautiful colors. And we're
Bitch, shut up.
My mother. I thought she was white till I was 9 years old. That's a problem. And then one day I went home, I was like,
She let you believe that.
Yeah, she reveled in that.
and then she cussed me out like she was black. So then I knew that she was a black woman. And my father is very dark, you know. So I had all these different shades in my
That's his fault.
family, but we never in our family said like, oh, you light skin, you brown skin. We never had that in our family. But outside
Bullshit.
and in the community,
Yeah, that's some lying shit.
we have it. I went to Fisk University, and they would say, oh, you can't run for Miss Fisk, or you too light, or you can't. I was like, too light? What's happening here? I'm at a black college.
It's us,
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Well, I know because it wasn't in my family, so I know that's true. It is not in all black families because my mother and father never said anything about the color of the kids one way or the other.
No. Colorism does not matter in the black community unless you're looking for a white man. If women that ain't looking for white men don't care nothing about no colorism.
It's a thing. Trust and believe, especially the higher class you go. It's a thing.
Yeah, or if you're trying to get jobs in Hollywood, yeah.
No. Okay.
The business world and stuff like the Robert.
In the business world, you go to the AKAs and what they call the master of the universe. There's a certain look that you have to be with those dudes.
And they promote it.
And they promote it. Yes, they do.
That is blonde hair and blue eyed. So what he would always tell me how the difference in them. What was?
Yeah, Monica, you know,
What
fuck is Monica saying?
Expect people to do what we have not figured out how to do ourselves. I have a father that is blonde hair and blue eyed. So what he would always tell me how the difference in them.
Yeah, it's like, bitch, what the fuck you talking about? Like,
blind blue eyes is her father white?
Yeah, that's what she looking at. Is she?
That's what
I can believe that.
I've never seen a black man like that.
I've never seen her father, so I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be surprised that her father's not white.
I ain't never seen a black man with blonde hair and blue eyes.
Never blonde hair, but blue eyes, yes, I've seen it, but not blonde hair.
So it's gotta be a white man.
Like albino or some shit.
Yeah, so like they act like they ain't trying to show no.
Like this is the part.
No, he ain't. He's one of these. Oh no, he's one of these white passing. No, he's one of these white. You can tell he's black. I'll show you a picture of the video.
I'm gonna tell you what. I don't believe nothing is said about the damn colorism.
I apologize. Okay, go ahead one more time. It was judgment. I apologize.
It was
Okay, all right.
But we do it to ourselves.
We
I
do.
think we minimize things that really become big later.
I'm gonna bring in a couple folks here.
I thought he was like,
Think about color. The closer you are to whiteness and lightness, good. The closer you are to darkness and black, dirty, bad.
Her father didn't have blonde hair.
Huh?
Her father didn't have blonde hair.
Yeah, I got a couple family members like what he talking about.
And
They
so
talk
we're
more
already
shit though.
labeled as dirty, bad. It's not black people's fault that when I see the light-skinned girl that I think she's better or she got.
Oh, here you go.
And she may be referring to a white man as her father. You never know.
That's what the stories tell me. That's what television tells me. And so we have to think of it with a different lens of it's not our fault. This is what they told us. And we have to fight against that and think more on a grounds of we are black people. We are people.
Gonna come right here.
Growing up, I didn't have a real good support from my mom. She was really color struck. We're the same color.
and my mom did not love her color. So growing up, I didn't know how to love myself. I used to be the girl that I have to buy weave because if I don't, nobody's gonna like me. And now I cut off all my hair because that's something I've always wanted to do.
And
And I
niggas are
was
still
terrified
fucking.
to do it because I was like, people are gonna hate me so much for cutting off my hair.
See?
But when I did it, I felt so beautiful and free. Nobody could tell me
Niggas
anything
are still
at that
fucking.
point. I was a beautiful black woman with short hair, and you can't tell me anything about myself.
Yes, okay.
Black people aren't the only people of colorism issues. I think the challenge for the black
You know she
community
gonna
is that
throw the
we've
LGBT
internalized
shit in
it
it.
and we've made
Watch.
it more vicious than it has to be in today's society. There are many people on Twitter.
I'm
who
offended
comment,
by the rolls in her neck.
I'm medium tone.
Right.
I'm too dark for some, I'm too light for others, and for a lot of them, I'm
You're
too
too
round.
heavy for all.
She said a lot of them are too right side. She
Who
snuck
we
that
intend
shit
to
in
be
there.
in
Hold
the
on, hold
space.
on. Did she?
And how
Did
we're
she
going
say too round or too brown?
Too round, yes.
for some, I'm too much for others, and for a lot of them, I'm too round. But our opportunity is to decide
Clearly
who
not.
we intend to be in
So
the
that
space.
means she's proud to be big.
Others in that space with us. Because whether we see
She got no
the
choice.
prejudice or we see the privilege, there are those who are making decisions about us, and they are imposing those decisions.
You got a choice. It's called Planet
When
Fitness.
they fire, when they send a
Some
preschooler
don't.
time out, or when they send a teenager to prison.
Look, I believe Monica can fight, but Stacey Abrams, you might throw some haymakers at her ass. Monica, you gotta take her out quick. Because she is much bigger than Monica. I was like, damn.
Oh yeah. Monica's small.
Those choices are being made, so we can't dismiss that it exists, but we can build the protections around ourselves so that we aren't doing it internally.
Do you think it's changing very much?
Yes, I mean, it's absolutely getting better because we talk about it. When you deny a problem, you can't fix the problem.
According to people,
And I think what's helpful for all of us is that we're actually talking about this as an issue, and we're talking about solutions.
Ma'am, I'd love to hear from you.
I am light-skinned, but I have never been treated like I was white in my life. I've always been black. I've never,
Some people are like, bitch,
felt
please.
any different from anybody else. And when I go to work, when I went to school, I was treated like a black woman. I was disrespected like a black woman. So it bothers me when people think because you're light-skinned, you're treated differently. I have never had that advantage
Know your place.
in my life.
They say I get cut that shit off like she. But I can believe that because white people, they gonna let you know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you're a nigga to all of them. But see, my thing is, if it only matters when you get to the point of you're in the Masters of the Universe class, that's such a small group of people. It's not a problem for regular folks. It's just not an issue.
No. But who has the biggest microphone though?
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel you there, but my thing is, if a black woman's talking to me about colorism, you know what I'm saying? You got a problem, period.
I
And
mean,
you just
a
don't
woman
admit
is
what
more
your
likely
problem
to
is.
You got to remember, who do black women take their cues from?
Oh, they take it from white people. I give you that.
No, I'm talking about from the upper class black women. That's who they take the cues from. And it's a problem for the upper class black women. In fact, that challenge, I think it was on my women's panel. E came on talking that stuff. And I said, okay, what degree do you have? I have a master's. Okay, you're after a class of guys that where color matters, the hair texture, color, all that matters, and you want to put that down on everybody else. And these are the women out there projecting this stuff.
All right, so we're going directly about the hair. So we're gonna hear this bullshit.
Who in this audience has been judged by their hair? Let me hear from a few people.
Working in luxury retail, I've noticed like when I have my hair in long braids, they won't speak to me or they shy away from me or they assume that I'm
Okay, so you talking about white folks.
before even speaking to me.
You're talking about white customers?
Correct, white customers.
See?
And they're shocked that I can hold an intelligent conversation with them because they assumed I would be the hood rat girl that happens to be working in luxury retail or just the assistant there.
Sounds like
the reputation precedes you.
I'm creative. I like to switch it up.
Hold on, but that's true. That's true too. A lot of you all get behind media that represents folks like that. You don't never hear women saying, well, like the Tiffany Haddish shit was one of the first things where I said, okay, this shit is too much. Well, I heard actually black women really started to say, all right, this shit a little bit too much. But white folks be fucking with black women. White folks know if you in a certain place in a certain area, they know you were vetted. So they like to troll black women too.
Yeah, well, they just like to
But if my
remind
hair is
black women that they're niggas.
Look, this fucking nose ring right here. This is. I don't give a fuck. This is. I can't
Tell.
see shit.
That's a tell. You look like you look like you would give them a hard time, and your reputation precedes you. They
I mean,
like
she fucks up her entire face with this. Like, for real. I'm like, I don't understand. That shit looks like it hurts too with what you got up here. Why? I'm not a big
isn't
issue
done a
with
certain
nose rings,
way,
but that's
or
a
if
deal
it's not
breaker.
how I want it to be, I don't feel comfortable. I'm not confident.
How many of you feel like natural is the only way to go?
I don't.
Now all this weed,
get quiet.
All this seen on all these videos, but
Don't like wigs. I think they look fake, and I don't think women know how to look good in them. And
AKA
so I
black
can't
women.
stand wigs, and I wish we as a people.
Oh, look at her. Look.
You fucked it up.
Is this the part of the show where we start standing up?
If you know how to make your wig look good, then wear it.
Yes,
I'm talking about the wigs that aren't properly plucked.
You're saying
if
you
that's
want 'em to
what-
be
I want them to
natural.
look nice. I want them to look good.
Well, they don't have good girlfriends helping them then, honey.
And let me tell you how I feel about weave. When I stop at a red light and I'm sitting there with my windows down and I look down and I see somebody's braid fell out and it's on the ground.
she live?
So,
Oh, see, this is the type of women they would have got rid of.
Tumbleweave.
This is the type of shit that they would have got rid of like back. They said, "Nah, you can't. No, you all script."
No, I'm thinking she didn't even make it home safe.
That's funny. They have a term called tumbleweave. Is bad.
I do applaud people who take care of their hair, take care of their styles, take care of their wigs, take care of their weaves. That's awesome. But we have some really bad stuff out here.
We do.
And that's what I have a problem with.
See, this is called you fucking up my reputation with all this shit, that pink bullshit, all that bullshit, which is reasonable. That's not an end. This is you. We need to protect the goddamn public relations. We need to protect the image. And you see, they don't even like to hear that shit. And this is amongst women.
I agree with her 100%. I am 64 years old. 3 weeks ago, I competed in a muscle building contest. I took 4th place. But I say this to say, everything has to be approved by the judges. The bikini that you wear has to be approved. I had a poser to show me how to pose and wanted to be like my wardrobe person, how I was going to wear my makeup and how I was going to wear my hair. And if you go and look at any of the competitions, I'm with her. They have the black women in these big old Martha and Vandella Barbie doll looking weave and wigs and, you know, making us try to look like the white girls, you know.
That's
And I
huge.
told them, I said, I'm gonna give you the bathing suit, but I'm gonna give you one or two things. I'm gonna give you braids and we're gonna break the mold, or I'm gonna give you a bun with my natural hair up in a bun. But I'm not gonna put on a weave, I'm not gonna put on a wig. And I still went out there and I placed 4th with
They
my
want to get their ass
braids.
beat. That's what that was.
I think that the
But
weave
kudos
thing
to her.
is way too out of control.
I'm trying to switch it and see the muscle.
I want to say it's black girl magic.
Keep
It's definitely
bragging,
magic
people.
if your hair down to here. We don't grow our hair like that.
Monica.
We don't like this. Too much real shit. And then even real.
Now, see, okay, so what just happened was,
Oh, this is that ATL bullshit.
what just happened was we got put right back in the box we're trying to get out of. Because every one of my father's sister's hair grows down here. These perceptions are exactly what we are pushing out. See, we can't ask other people to treat us in a way that we can't treat ourselves. Number one. That's number one. We all got something different genetically because that is how it was intended.
That's bullshit. Monica, shut up. Like, you know you lying. Like, first of all, like, yes, black women's hair can grow. You've seen some examples. But when you look at what you see and what it is and what the reputation is, and she's in Atlanta, if you don't shut all the way the hell up, she know what the fuck she's doing.
That is
People
what makes
taking
us
white
such a
interest.
special race because there is no box
Look
to
like
be
Brian
put in.
Miles.
You can be this color, you can be that complexion, you can be so many different things. And I think what makes it hard is that, okay, granted, there are some bad weaves. Grant, I'm gonna give
Ain't no
that.
some.
There's some
Look at
bad
you,
wigs.
tattoos.
I
What the
get it.
fuck?
When I get one, it's not because I want to look like Barbie. It's because I like this. This is what I want.
That's not the majority of why black women get weaves, though. And then you gotta look at
Right,
why they
too.
like it, what drives that. So Monica knows. Monica knows what it is. This is why Shannon Brown left her ass.
And it may be a different feeling. If I'm going to the VMAs versus coming to support Mercedes, I might look a
Okay,
different
you
way.
already
So I
you
get
support
that
Avery.
there's a
What is
way
wrong with
that
you?
we should do certain things, but there should be no judgment when it's done.
That's
In other
bullshit.
words, everything should count, and nobody has to set a standard, and everybody should be
Yeah,
accepted.
and
That's
I
all that
mean,
means.
but you know,
Not one person said, wear your natural shit. Stop it. Wear your natural shit. Always an excuse.
yeah, Monica. But you know, Monica's been trained to know how to get that black money. Oh, here go Chrissy. Chrissy didn't like that shit. Watered down colors of discussion is ineffective. Black women. She didn't like that. We're not gonna play it. I'm not gonna go there. Women bonding during emotional raw talk on being single. Nah, whatever. See, is this it? Interracial dating. Black men react to black women issues. Let's see. I'm serious. This will be the last one I do, and then I'm curious.
So I am going to show you in the next 2 minutes how you.
Oh, these motherfuckers kill me with that shit. They always.
Respond to the advice, commentary, and wisdom offered from one of our episodes of Listen to Black Women.
I don't like to use the word hurt because I feel that puts too much weight on it. Personally, I am not that sad or affected when I see a black man with a woman of another race, unless he's very fine. She is not what I really think is, a good match. But I do question a lot of their choices because when pressed or asked about it, a lot of them have really lame excuses. Like Michael did the whole thing about milk flavors. And I was just like,
so weird.
Right. Like just say you like what you like and this is not it or this is it.
My problem with it is that I feel like Michael B. Jordan's fan base has been built on the backs of black women. And now he's afraid that he's going to lose.
Whoa. You said his fame. I mean, you could say that about Tyrese, but that's not.
No, you couldn't say about Tyrese either. At the end of the day, black women don't like to buy stuff. They like to get dudes to buy it for them. So they're still receiving a bunch of male
I get
money.
what you're saying though, but you know what I mean by I say that though. But that you just like but again, but even still, so basically, what group do you know owes you dick because of that? So even that mindset, by the way, the weave is one of the bad weaves she's talking about, but whatever.
Lose his audience, so now he's clamoring and he's all these milk analogies and it's really strange, but we see this so often in Hollywood.
Yeah, and we're seeing right through it because all of those types of explanations, they just read as superficial and inauthentic. It's like, just own it, brother.
Yeah, but when Patterson tells y'all the fucking truth, y'all wild out. He owned it on your ass. By the way, Eric Gordon was the dude I was talking about. Eric Gordon don't give a fuck. Agent Zero, he'll tell you. He said, I don't like that shit. Then y'all get mad. Whatever.
About Gilbert Arenas?
Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas. Yeah, Gilbert don't give a fuck either.
Identifying a black man is dating a white woman. Oh my God, travesty, right? Agreed. But I think that a lot of the black women that I know, a lot of my black female friends who are single are faced with an issue of what's out there, what's in their purview as being true prime opportunities with black men. And so in the instance that you see a black man that you could have dated,
Man, he sounds sweeter than a Georgia peach.
Oh, that brother would have been good for me. And he went with a white girl. Oh, and so it really does feel like sabotage. It kind of feels like you just straight up just took an opportunity away from me. And I think that is an issue that we address.
I think the point about Michael B. Jordan was really interesting too, about him building his reputation and his fame on the backs of black women. And I think it is a very precarious predicament for him to be in, only because it's now he feels obliged to have to make an excuse. He can't just say, I enjoy dating white women. I think the interesting thing about preference is that it doesn't really affect anyone except for the individual. I understand historically that a lot of, you know, what is seen as the black plight is the loss of the black family. But when does that become every individual's responsibility to say, okay, I have to put what I may innately prefer aside to fulfill this larger
shit,
purpose?
that's why
And so I think it's something
point.
to be said about, you know, just the
Let me
pressures
find
of
out.
what is
By the
expected.
way, he don't know what SYSBM is, but there's a lot of dudes that operate like this. And by the way, when you talk about black family, let's take away dudes that date interracial dating. Let's get rid of all of them dudes. Even dudes that don't commit or don't get married or stay single, that was the shit before the interracial shit. Oh, why won't black men? Why are they staying single? Why are they stay in the market? Well, it's because why would you pay for milk and get for free? So that was quote unquote SYSBM before even this thing about, you know, yeah, that's it. But see, people don't talk about that, and he's actually speaking towards that.
And let me say this real quick.
Yeah.
When it comes to Michael B. Jordan, I ain't never heard of any woman he's actually dating. So everybody just speculating on the dude. Like, black women could have got with that brother a long time ago if they wanted to. He didn't come from money. So they had the opportunity to get him.
About Michael B. Jordan is before Michael B. Jordan got into like All American, he kind of broke out. Michael B. Jordan wasn't built like that. People forget Michael B. Jordan was on Hardball, that show with Keanu Reeves, Chicago thing. He was one of the little boys. So he's been in the game a lot. And Michael B. Jordan used to talk about when he go in the club, people weren't checking for him like that, unless they knew he was in Hollywood or something like that. And then he built muscle and came to Creed, and all of a sudden black women started swooning over him because of Creed. And so, you know, he wasn't getting checked for like that from black women like that.
Well, that's my point though. Black women want to wait till a dude is being chased by everybody to then say, "Hey, I'll take you too." These dudes come up in your areas. They go to high school with you and all that because the black folks have a unique experience due to slavery that most very successful black men right now still come from the hood. You with them all day long. You went to high school with them. You go to college with them if they go to college, or you're in these spaces where they are at the same clubs they in, yet you're not with them. But once they get famous and in Hollywood, now you want them. Well, you stupid.
Yeah, and Mike Coulter said the same shit, you know. So, but see, they invalidate that because that doesn't matter. They think, and see, this just goes to show you how much they fetishize men. Because dudes are not somebody that can change. They're these like whatever. Let's go.
To do and how he's treated if he was to come out and say, yeah, I prefer to date white women. There's a lot of backlash for that.
And so I want us to finish a thought, if we may. So when black men listen to black women on the topic of interracial dating,
I feel that their specific perspective and the life events that they have lived through grant them the right to their opinion. I think it's very different from what I've lived through and what I've seen and my whole perception of the situation, but it's equally valued.
Boy, he politicized. He
when
politician.
black men listen to black women on the topic of interracial dating, like,
hey, you got through it though. You got through it without getting shot.
They often get defensive and feel guilty. Yeah. To be totally honest with you, I think when a black woman presents and says, you know, when black men date white women, I don't get it. I don't understand. You're not valuing yourself and who you come from. And if you dated a white woman, you sit down there and say, dang, is that true? No, you start to think and calculate and, you know, and see if that's the case. And then you come up with a response. It's unfortunate that is the case. But the fact of the matter is that when we hear our sisters give their opinions on it.
My only opinion with that is we need, and I think Charles, you kind of alluded to that. We should just say okay and just leave. Because the fact that she thinks she's owed a response and he feels he owes her a response, that's a good commentary on a lot of our manosphere with this back and forth. When it's one thing to talk to women in general, but when you're talking to certain women that's already been disproven, yeah, either you're trying to keep the niggertry going, or quite frankly, you feel a need. This is one thing about some SYSBM folks. And this is not the whole thing, but I'm just saying they feel this need, like people deserve an explanation about why people do what they do. And it's like they're looking for this kind of permission slip. I see some people do that, but
sometimes we can become enlightened, but oftentimes we become defensive. What can we do, both men and women, to start to address this, right? What can women do to feel less bothered by these trends? And what can men do, black men, to try to listen to Black women a little bit more and hold space.
Shit.
I think the key to any problem, the first step is dialogue. There needs to be that conversation. They can't be these feelings of disdain and anger and hurt.
We've
and
tried
you just
that.
keep
It
it
doesn't
bottled
work.
inside. I don't think that's the solution in any situation. I think it's best that we have these conversations with each other. We put our prides aside. We try to remove the emotionality from it, and we hear what people are thinking.
Good luck.
And furthermore, I think if you speak to a Black man as a Black woman, and you say, "Why do you date white women?" and he says, "This is all I want to date," then you probably saved yourself and dodged a bullet. You wouldn't want someone who could be so ignorant to think that you could just make a determination on who you love on race. So stay yourself.
Yeah,
So-
agree. I think that Black women, when you do get that kind of response from a Black man,
Notice the
having to
attitude
date,
was never mentioned.
White women or women that are not Black, I think
Well, you know where he at.
I think you exit the conversation, especially if you're not interested in that man. But even if you are, you kind of just move on and don't take on the idea that that man's word is the word for all Black men. That's it. And particularly if a Black man is dating a white woman, please don't misappropriate that for only wanting white women, right? I think
That's a
there
good
are
point.
tons of Black men that want to date Black women, and that's just a fact. The last piece I would say is date men outside of your race too. I mean, I'm not saying to do it as a tit for tat, but I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm not saying only date outside your race, but I think you have an opportunity to go out there and explore and see what you like and see that there's not really that much of a difference oftentimes when you're in the dating world. Maybe culturally there might be a little bit, but you might learn something by dating somebody else.
Totally, cast a wide net. But my advice goes to men. I'd say men need to take more ownership for their reasons, right? And like you said, if that's your preference, that's fine. But I wouldn't deflect it by saying that the Black woman is less than, right? And then we have the laundry list of things that we can point to.
So don't say
I
that.
would say for men, we need to take more
I see why
ownership
he's
of
the
our
host.
preference if that's the case. We hope you enjoyed, and make sure to stay
I mean,
tuned
you
for
know,
the next episode.
obviously he's hosting Madame Noir. You already know what time that is. So
Yeah. But see, this is my question, because you know what I'm saying. I told you beforehand, I'm always pro Black people dating Black people. But when people say, well, you know, I don't. It's okay if a Black man dates a white woman, but just don't throw us under the bus. My thing is like, why is that a problem? If a Black man say, I'm gonna date this white woman because she respects me more, she treats me better, you know, she has better characteristics, and Black women just don't seem to have that. What's the problem with him actually saying that? That's what I want. I want to.
Because that's not I mean, because it's the same reason why they're asking the fucking question. Like Black men don't be asking Black women why you date white men, blah blah. Whether we make our assumptions or not, it just is what it is. You see what I'm saying? You don't really hear Black men really ask that question. You know, it's an ownership thing, and that's the problem. I want to hear Von Van Zam talk shit about these niggas. These niggas gonna tell the truth, I think.
I've been out with Black
and
women.
then this is the last one I'm done.
Black women, and before they even knew me, they said, "How many kids you got? How many baby mamas you got?" Dating outside my race, I haven't had no issues like that at all.
Okay, and you are?
I'm Coro.
Coro.
I've been practicing abstinence for 3 years. 3 years with no sex. I'm looking for someone that can respect my views on this, someone that can love me for me.
And you are?
Both. Yeah, I don't date Black women now because of past experiences. They like to.
I guess
place
he
their
represents
strong
the lane. They're
personality
gonna try to
on you,
put that
and
out
sometimes
there.
you just kind of, like, you know, stand a woman's place.
So do you have any
You already know he ain't dating, but I got the look. He got.
idea why you're here?
He a business owner. He's 28.
We share some.
Cause y'all can tell he ain't taking that bullshit. Like certain dudes are not built really to handle Black female fuckery well, and he strikes me as one of those dudes. Like, because I used to be like that, and Black women used to say, like, you know, like, yeah, I can see you. I don't think you did, and I did date Black women, but because they know,
He knows he has options, which is going to be a problem for Black women anyway. If you look at how he's moving right now, and it said he's 28 and a business owner, this dude know he got options. He just ain't got to deal with it.
Yeah.
And they're picking that up from him.
Opinions.
Look how they got the music.
About?
Why are Black women so angry?
Was your mother angry?
I'm telling you, like, I get what you're saying, but he is more what I'm fucking saying too. Like I ain't seen this video, so I don't know.
To a certain degree, yes. She had that anger inside of her, but she made sure that she didn't pass it on to me. I see how she handles that, and she gives off that vibe that I get from women here. But when it came to me and how she approached me and taught me about women, she said, don't deal with this.
That's interesting, because as a Black mother,
My mom did that. Actually, my mom was like that too. Don't do anything.
I mean, a lot of sisters do that. If they put themselves in a certain bad situation, they'll tell their son not to do the same thing. Don't date a version of me. That's what Black women do tell their son. But at the whole time, they on the other side, because they so double-minded, they still be giving messages where it's saying you should accept all these different things from Black women. So they give guys two different messages the whole time while they growing up. That's why it's hard for men to
my bad, y'all. All these motherfuckers in dip. I ain't even real. Oh, it's just me. Try to bring me back.
It's me and you right now.
Damn, I ain't even pay attention to when they dip. My bad. I appreciate all of them for coming up. I was wondering why they weren't saying nothing. Anyway, it is what it is. But and you say goodbye.
was to help my son understand it so that he would know how to stand in it with a Black woman. Why are you here?
Oh, that's hustling.
My situation is a little bit different because I traveled a lot when I was a kid. Very talented, very gifted musically. So because of that, when I came back to my neighborhood, when I was dealing with certain Black women, you're different. You talk funny. You dress funny. The music you listen to is funny. I don't like being because I had flip-flops on or I had a turtleneck, I'm gay. The problem I'm having is just because you're my culture and you're Black, you don't get a pass. All the women in my family, I got a side of cousins that made me feel weird about that.
How can anybody make you feel anything? You get to choose how you feel.
You don't know that when you're kids, it's a psychological imprint.
What does that have to do with today?
Now, with a Black woman, I have this in my mind before I even talk to you. She's gonna think I'm weird.
Well, first of all, you're right. You do get to choose how you feel. And part of that is getting rid of environments. Part of that is environmental change. That's part of the choice. That's like saying you're not a slave. So the problem is you get to choose how you feel about being a slave. That's fucking retarded. But go ahead.
And that bothered me a lot.
When I went to junior high school, I got bussed from Ocean Hill, Brownsville to Flatbush. And they spit on me and called me
Bitch, I don't give a fuck about that. That history lesson.
That ain't got nothing to do with what he's saying. Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with what he's saying. He's associated Black women treating him bad. Therefore, I'm going to remove myself from that situation so I can avoid being
and she's sitting there trying to do a slave situation. I knew she was going to go there.
And I was 13. And these were adults, not the children. So my point is this. That don't have nothing to do with who I am.
Well, first of all, do you fuck with white people like that?
Exactly.
What is your experience?
A lot of Black women, they don't want to talk to me. Some of them don't want to talk to me. Some of them want to talk to me because, number one, I'm a God-fearing man. I don't believe, like right now, I'm practicing abstinence. I'm not having any sex whatsoever.
Why you ain't in the church?
Because there's hoes in the church. They fucking. Go ahead and tell me.
I am in the church. I'm going to tell you about the church women. If you don't have a collar, they don't want to talk to you. I'm going to be straight up.
That's true. See?
But
if you don't have a collar, they
do
don't
you
want to
know
talk
what
to
the
you.
collar represents, though?
I guess it's purity or,
status.
Let's stop. I'm serious.
Leadership or, I don't know, a divine.
How about power? Yeah. How about power? That's what it represents.
But what does that say about the women, though? Okay. That I can't find a man. No, because you motherfuckers are chasing the same couple of dudes in the church. It's stupid.
But let me tell you why I've called you here today. I've invited you here because my intention is to dismantle the myth of the angry Black woman.
While being an angry Black woman.
As a Black woman.
Yeah.
I believe it's a myth.
Of course you would.
No, she don't. That's a lie. She just told that man he would teach her sons to stand in with Black women.
Just to be with some women. All kinds of women, all ages. We all have a story. We all have an experience. And we all get to choose. Tonight, you get to choose how you're going to experience these women. But I do also want to thank you for being here. Thank you for being a demonstration. Because I know there are hundreds of thousands of Black men, all ages, who've had these experiences. And I believe, and it's my intention, for us to heal. Hello, my beloved.
For us to heal. Ain't nothing to heal. It's like when you get, if you get, Man, get the fuck out of here. Anyway, I'm about to end this.
But
Shout out to
real
everybody
quick,
who showed up. I'm sorry for being an asshole and I wasn't playing these videos because I know these motherfuckers dead at this nigga. And it's also 2:00.
Okay, but real quick, did you hear how she said that it was a myth about the angry black woman? But when she was talking to the other dude earlier, she said when he started talking about black women and the way they are, she was like, I would teach my sons to stand in it with a black woman. So you just acknowledge they have attitude issues, and then now you're saying that they ain't got none. It's a myth.
We could do a whole segment on this bullshit. Like
bro,
shit.
I'm just saying
The reason why I
don't lie
chose
so
that
quick.
stuff. The reason why I chose that stuff is
don't lie to
that
me.
stuff is mainstream. That's stuff. That's Oprah. Like y'all, this ain't no backwater shit. This ain't even world star hip hop. This shit is you can't just say that shit is just social media because it's pervasive, especially when you come to black media overall. And a lot of the stuff that we were saying, we were predicting. It was. I'm serious. I haven't seen it, so I don't. A lot of stuff I ain't seen except the first interracial one. So I mean, it's because it's predictable, and it's not a. Here's my thing. My thing is, if you're just gonna play the game where I'm not gonna address it, then really you're cool with being that way. So therefore, there is no other option. Again, I'm not one. My personal thing is this: if I have kids, it will be with black women. That's my choice. If I get married, it'll probably be with a black woman. That's my choice. But here's the thing: if I'm making an argument as far as dudes to keep the community cohesive from a genetic perspective, then I'm gonna offer dudes options. You have to look at, okay, where are these dudes coming from and how do you meet it in the middle and then create a solution? That's how you do it. The solution to that, because you know what the problems are, is you expand their options and say, look, and hope that they take those options. Like, for instance, this is where the intercultural dating thing comes from. There is no one size fits all solution for black men. There isn't. But there are things that can be done that can meet it both ways. But see, when you really think about it, a lot of these dudes, they're not even cool with intercultural dating. They're not even cool. No, I couldn't hear you, Meech. My bad. They're not even cool with that deep down when it comes down to it. Because they don't even know how to even articulate that. They just come with these shame attacks. I'm like, ain't nobody hearing y'all. Because what's gonna happen is y'all will get to a point where dudes just even stop doing shit. And yeah, you're gonna feel like shit is okay on YouTube. But if you don't believe me, and I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna let you have the last word. Think about it. Oh, well, he hopped off. Press 1 if y'all can hear me. I don't know. Press 1 if y'all can hear me. What the fuck is going on? Anyway, I'm gonna say this, and then if y'all can hear me, it is what it is. Okay, y'all can't hear me. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and then I'm done. The biggest thing about this situation is you have to understand that. Oh, well, it's just like gentrification. When you look at gentrification over the last 10 years, like look at where it was. And take your city and look at it over the last 10 years. Or at least since Obama got elected. So you got 12 years. Look at it. That's how fast shit can move. That's how fast shit can move. And that's what people don't really understand. Look at what things used to be as far as LGBT shit in fucking the Bush era. And then look at it now. Look, I mean, not even now. Look at it like at the 2 years before the end of Obama era, but at the end of the beginning of Trump presidency. Look how fast that shit moved in like a 10-year period. Oh, okay. That might be what happened to everybody. In a 10-year period, shit can move a hell of a lot. I haven't seen it, and I'm not going to with Paris Milan. But my point is, people really don't understand how real and present a threat that shit can really be. But anyway, I got you, man. But I'm about to cancel this. This went a little bit longer than I wanted. Appreciate BGS Clutch and all them for coming through. Yeah, I'll keep it more formal. That was something I was experimenting with. So I had that stuff for them ready. But with that being said, make sure you subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And this is Edward signing off. Peace.